What a timing. Hey, how's it going, everyone? Nice to see you. I'm B-Ball Joe, and some disclaimers probably first. Nothing to Republic in 2 hours or less. What does that mean? I would like to start from absolutely zero, just a completely empty map, to get to a place where I have an exporting industry, a working city, like everything ready to go, and ideally a way to pay off our debt. That is the goal. That is the hope. Are we gonna get there? I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna give this a 50-50 shot because I have a list of things that I want to do, and thank you to Stuart for helping me getting that. I don't have it pulled up yet. I'm just talking about it. Yeah, I don't have it pulled up yet, but there's a list of things that I want to do, and that list consists of, let's see here, 24 main points, where the 24th point goes from A through K, and each point has sub-points too. That is the expansion. That's what you do after you have everything running. But until then, there is a lot of stuff going on that I want to test. And I've run through several tests already on this, and by several I mean 6. 6 or 7 attempts. I spent so much time on this, and I am not near where I want to be, and it is bugging me. It is bugging me so much. It is not funny, but I do believe that the time I've allocated for it should be sufficient to actually get us to a working republic. So that is the goal today, getting to a point. This is absolutely supposed to be a tutorial, so if you want to follow along, you should. I will post the map eventually. Depends how today goes. If today goes well, the map is going to go out. If today doesn't go well, there are a couple other things I have planned that I will throw out as actual videos and not just as a live stream to get us started. All right, so that's the thing. First off, of course, hello everyone. How's it going? Hope you're having a good time. I saw a couple chats earlier already. I think we're at least in Argentina and France, which is awesome. And yeah, welcome and hello to everyone. Speedrunning WRSR. Yes, there will be some YouTube magic here. We will speed up the game a little bit with YouTube magic, and that's what we're going to call it. And there's just no way around it. There's technically, if you run it at double speed, a year is 30 minutes. So 2 hours, if we ignore planning, will give us about... that was a little loud, sorry. Will give us about... well, 4 years. Math is hard. If I do math on stream, it's just stupid, but that's where we are. So, hope we are okay with everything that I said so far, because it's gonna happen. Thanks for subscribing, Ghost Reaper. Didn't you subscribe already before? I feel like I've seen your name, but it's very possible that was someone else. But thanks for joining us. Much appreciated. Making sure here that all the things... I have 2 screens now, and apparently that is not enough to run everything at the same time, so that is just unfortunate, isn't it? Just arranging my windows here. I'm almost ready. I'm almost there. Well, we'll be fine. We'll be fine, I promise. Okay, now, every new game needs a map setup. We're not getting around that, okay? So, what do we need to do here? Is that music too loud? No, music should be fine. Alright, what do we need here? We need to get a new game started, and let's talk about a couple settings, because there are things that I would say new players should be very, very aware of. Obviously, we are going to play in realistic mode, 100%. I like to start in 1960. There are slow vehicles here. If you just want the fast vehicles right away, go to 1980, it's fine. But this is where we're starting. And then there are a couple settings that I would say absolute new players should switch from what this is set to. Money amount. If you play on hard, you really don't have wiggle room. If you build the wrong things, you can't really... it's hard to recover from that, and it's a lot more expensive to recover from that, and that may bankrupt your republic, and it's not great. So you don't have to go here. Medium money is most likely going to be okay. The only thing you can't do with medium money is super expand, like you can't build 12 industrial complexes right away in 3 cities. That's probably not going to happen, but if you just do 1 city and do industries for that and some rail, medium is totally fine. Gives you enough wiggle room to make some mistakes. That's cool. The other thing, if you are new, that I would definitely change is set the citizens' reaction to medium, because on hard, all that really happens is when you do something wrong. Simple thing. Don't have a trash truck to pick something up. Don't have heat in the winter. Don't have water available for a second. Those things are going to make your citizens rather gruntled. Rather gruntled. And it's really hard to recover from, especially if you don't see it right away. So if you set that to reasonable, 1, they don't overreact right away, and 2, the recovery is easier. And that is just for that. You can change all of these settings besides the year and the starting money in the game itself. So don't feel like you're locked into any of this. You can turn it on and off whenever you want. I already saw a question about this. Resources. If you have resource enabled, you cannot see where your resources are at the beginning. You can change the setting once you're in the game to see where the resources are. Personally, I think this is a nice thing. Let's hide the resources so we don't go into the bauxite and coal and power exports right away, that we actually do a little bit of other stuff before we get to this. That changes the behavior a little bit, and obviously there's some resources in here that are important. Everything else I would play on. You could turn fires to none, but then you're missing one building, one setup, which is a little sad. Pollution, definitely have it on. Otherwise, if you want to put your industries in the middle of the city, this is your thing. Everything else, crime and justice, this will hit you at about 2,500 people. Once you have 2,500 people in a city, crime and justice will start impacting your happiness enough that you should definitely build the chain. You can start with just a police station, but you should probably build everything once you're ready for this. So, those are all the settings. Normally, I would say, go start a new game, build a couple of these things, and get going. But I have a map prepared for this, which sounds weird, which is all of these settings that you just saw. It's just, when I tried to set this up, I ran through 12 different new map, multiple times until I was just like, okay, this is as close as it's gonna get, and I don't want to do that on a live stream. So the map that I have right now is somewhere over here. Beginner's Guide, Less Water. This is what I'm going to release if this live stream is successful and you can follow along, and it will be super fun. So, whew, I'm excited because everything matters. The first thing that I want to talk about is stop your game, make sure that you're paused, and you can get started on things. So, what is a good map? Press M or press the minimap button down here. Expand your minimap so you can see something, and again, resources on, so no resources are enabled. Looking at the map, this is a relatively flat map. It's a randomly generated map, but it's a relatively flat map. We only have a couple hills and mountains in here, but it's overall flat. You have a waterway that connects through the border, which means ship traffic is possible, which is great. And it has relatively big flat areas. One flat area is down here. There was a lake somewhere in here, and I took that out. But this is where we're going to start, because this is a good map for a beginner because it has large flat areas that are not disconnected via or separated via water, so you can actually get there easy without bridges. And it has a border house connection to the blue line, which is NATO, and to the red line, which is USSR. The red line is important because at the time of recording this, you don't have enough NATO vehicles to run your whole republic. You are reliant on a lot of NATO, on a lot of USSR stuff. So ruble is your primary currency, which is why you have more of that on hard, and it just makes your life easier. Later on, that may be different. You can probably do a NATO playthrough. This is completely modless, but it's played on the current beta branch, which has the maintenance and research and all that stuff on. So that should be the last major update that we're playing with. But a couple other things on the border, pressing M here to turn that off, is the customs house is a medium one, which is honestly good for road traffic because the medium customs road traffic is a little higher throughput than the large customs house traffic. So that's a plus. You have the power connection over here, which is good, and having that on the USSR side is better than the NATO side, again, because ruble is your main currency in the beginning usually, unless you play with a lot of mods and play the NATO side, that's also fine. But you have that, and then you have a rail connection here, which is nice. It is not a deal breaker. This is a short customs house, so the rail connection is relatively short, so any trains that you bring in here, if they're too long, they're just extra slow to load and unload. But you have it, and that's good enough. Plus, if we look on the map again, we have another customs house right next to us, which is right over there. and then we have 2 NATO customs houses. So if we have a lot of customs traffic jam hiccups, we can manage things from here, which is why this is the map that I chose, just to get us going, because I don't need to have artificial complications in the area. Another thing that's important, you do need water in the beginning if you play vanilla, because the only way to get rid of your sewage, where are you? Sewage, is into a water receptacle. It can be a lake or a river, doesn't matter, but without that, you cannot get rid of your sewage if you have water turned on. Now, water is also one of those settings that I can say you can turn it off if you want to. It doesn't change the gameplay that much, in my opinion, just adds another supply chain that you have to take care of. But it's one of those I can play with or without. I think I'd be fine. If you do want to change your game settings, it's down here on the settings button. Here's everything that you have. And there you go. I will turn our day-night cycle to just moving sun because this is a tutorial and I want to make sure that you can actually see everything that goes on. I have changed it to the Charlie Pryor settings where the night is not as dark, but it's still dark enough where you may miss a couple things in here and there. This one does not have rain, which slows you down on the mud roads, so there's a slight difference, and there's a power consumption difference at night as well. But I think we can all ignore that for the time being. So let's store this live stream 2023. Let's call it that, and then we can get started. Okay? Did I miss? I will ask you if you have any questions for me in the chat. Please do the @bballjoe so I can actually see it. It highlights a little bit red, and then I can find it a little faster. Otherwise, I will probably miss it because I will try from now on to move relatively fast. Not super fast, but relatively fast. So we will see how things go from here. Cool. The first thing I would say is we have a starting location picked out. Let's build a road just to put a line on the sand to figure out where we are. So I'm going to try to follow just button clicks and not shortcuts for the time being. Get the mud road. This is the one that you can build for free. In the first month, if you have to, you can get some free terraforming like this. On realistic mode, that is on purpose because there are some maps that don't give you a good enough terrain that you can start with right away. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get a road just out here. I don't care how good or how bad it is, but it's just a starting point, and that gets us going. When you place your road, think of a couple things. Let's zoom out a little bit. There we go. Think of a couple things. You need to think about where you put your first industry at some point. You need to think about where you will put your city, and then you will need to figure out where you put polluting industries like heat. Heat, in the large heating plant, when I did the last test that I set up, 700 meters was how far the pollution went. So I would say put your heating plant at least 800 meters away from the city, wherever you want to build that. And there are multiple ways to do this, but for right now, when I look at this map, I'm seeing so much empty space here, and there's some water here, that I think what I want to do is I want to start the city. Let's get rid of that. I want to start the city in this area. Can I actually, I think I can do some highlighting like this. I can start the city, no, I can't. I need to be closer. I want to start the city somewhere here, which means we will have access to some resources. We can put an industry over there later on if we want to. We have a lot of open space for fields. We have some gravel industry potential over here. You need these gravel patches, which show up like little gray things on the map. You need those to actually have a gravel industry, like the gravel quarries. You can probably run it now without it, but maybe not. And then I would like to have my starter industry probably in this area because it's relatively close to the border, and hopefully gets along with everything that we want to do. But yeah, those are my starter consideration. If you're not sure what distance is what, you can use this little tool for measurement, and from there to here it's 846 meters. Just a point of interest, and it will also tell you what height you are on. That will be important when you place your sewage and water infrastructure and all that stuff. But this is where we are, so let's get a couple more things going. Daniel, is there a disadvantage to turning off mountains completely in World Generator? No, absolutely not. I think it looks a little less attractive, but no, building on mountains is absolutely a slow process. You can do it. You can totally do it in this mountain. Well, that's not press shortcuts. Topography. If you look at the mountain here, there's not a lot of building space up here, and let's just assume there is a bauxite or uranium deposit up here. You would have to go up from this side and just build a road. Now, you can build a road up here. It's not the end of the world. Like so, even on crappy terrain like this. The shorter pieces you can always build, and then you can just continue from there and start building the road up here. So it's not super terrible, but I don't think it's very attractive. And if you're planning on flattening stuff anyways to make it look prettier, no, just play with terrain just on the same level. That is totally fine. On that note, I would say if you watch any of the players that build things a little prettier, they like to build underpasses and through passes and just like indentations. You cannot do that if your settings are set to minimum height of like 0. Like most of the land that I have is on near water level. If you want to be able to build some nice underpasses and overpasses and those things, it may be easier to make your base level of the terrain a little higher, so it's nicer to go under, because once you hit 0 in your terraforming, you will hit water. So you cannot build lower than 0. You will have to artificially add mountains to places. And sometimes that's a little annoying. Sometimes that's okay. But I think that goes along the same notes. Where are we? We are over here. Okay. The first thing after you place your first road is, in my opinion, build your first industry, your first construction industry. We got to set that up. So we're going to do it right here because you want to be really close to the source. Really close to the source because driving distances are the thing that are most important when you do things. Hey, I'm placing the first building at what? 27 minutes minus 10 minutes preview, 17 minutes into a 2-hour stream, and we're placing a building. Isn't that exciting? It's okay, we'll see how this goes. But build the free construction offices over here. There are down construction industry over here, and then the free one, because you cannot build anything without them in realistic mode. If you don't like how the roads are lined up, press T for mirroring, because T stands for mirror, because reasons, and place this down. If you come into areas that you really like how it's set up, get the clone tool right there and move these over here. Rotate them a little bit and then place them wherever you want them. Right here is totally fine. And then we're going to go back to our roads and get those in here. Wonderful. If you ever come to a place and you're not sure what building it was, go to this pick building infrastructure tool. Click on it, and now you're like, oh, there's another construction office. Cool. Just a couple of quality of life things that are down here that you can use. And we have our first 4 construction offices. How many do you really need? That's an excellent question because it's hard to answer. It's very hard to answer, but we're going to need these in just a minute. We need a couple other things to help our customs house traffic. And that's what I'm going to get into next. And big thanks to Stuart. He helped me put together this beginner's guide document that I have. I shared it on the Discord, so if you want to go check it out there, feel free. But this is the other thing that I want to do. Give me some storages for some of the materials so we don't overload our customs house unnecessarily. We're going to use just these open storages. They are not great because they only have a T and R. T to flip and then R to rotate by 90 degrees. They only have one loading and one unloading spot, which is super slow, but it's okay just for the beginning. And we're going to store the different materials right here. I'm going to add a little road on this side just because that will be helpful. And I'm going to put one more construction office right next to you because these will be for the flatbeds, the open haul trucks, so we can get those done. When you place your construction offices, highly recommend to name them to something that makes sense to you because you will see this name in other places. Covered, open haul. And then let's buy some vehicles. You have to be connected to the border, so if you click on the NATO sign, it will tell you there's no connection to this customs house because you don't have a road connection. If you click on the NATO one, you can actually see it. I want, honestly, in this case, I just want the open hauls. Thinking about it, give me 1, 2, 3, 4. And once you unpause, they will actually show up here and start driving to that place, which is cool. I want 4 of those, which then means this is no longer a covered haul, this is just for open haul. And again, this is all related to driving distance to the source, to whatever they want to pick up, which they're going to pick it up from here, so that's fine, but the covered hole can go to the custom cells and they have to pick it up from there. Cool. That's that. The next one that I like to set up is mostly for road construction and for gravel things. So this is going to be dumper and dozer, because a dozer is a faster road construction machinery than the excavator. And then we're going to get some dumpers. You could get the really big ones. They're very helpful when you have short distances. But once you have longer distances, this one is the one you want. I'm going to get 3 of these. And then 1 bulldozer. Just get the fastest one you can get. There are features in the bottom. I'm going to point at the screen like you could see it. There are features in the bottom that will tell you a speed or a level. The higher the speed level, the better those vehicles generally are, but it's not always true, and I get to that when we talk about cranes. So this one should be fine. Cool. Now, what else do we need? There's a bunch of setup here that we have to worry about, but I'm trying to do things a little in parallel because we only have 2 hours. This one is responsible for roads. Cool. I would like some road construction done, because the first road will speed up our process immensely. Okay, how do we do that? First thing we need is the gravel road, or whatever road you want to build, which is this one, and just assign it. You can click on the nodes, those little purple dots, and drag it however far you want, or you select the road that you want, hold left shift, and you get this little plus, and you drag. But you can drag to multiple things, and these will all get upgraded. I don't want to upgrade everything, but I want to upgrade most things. This one's the first road I want to upgrade. I've been playing with this for a while, excuse me, and the active construction button in the beginning has caused me a lot more pain than help. So I leave this on just in the beginning. Later on, when you have more stuff going on, it's nice to have it off, but I'm going to leave it on in the beginning. Max workers without CO. This will hurt you when you're in the city and you have construction sites in walking distance, which we don't have right now, but later on we will have it. This one I set to something very low, so I don't get into real trouble. That should be good. Now, this one says the source of gravel is not assigned, because it has this assigned, it has auto search on. I'm currently allowed to build everything. I really just want this to concentrate on gravel and footpaths. And it has this sitting here. You even have a priority switch here. You can do medium priority, click on it, high, and then low. You can do the same thing from the construction itself, so you don't have to switch it around. And as you can see, the arrow actually moves, which is quite nice. But yeah, it's saying I don't have gravel. So let's help it. Get this guy, dumper dozer, click on the gravel source, click on the specified place where soul's building, send it over here, and now they're going to pick up gravel. I'm going to do the same with asphalt, because dumpers are used to move asphalt as well. And as you can see, that truck is already moving. Cool. They will start working on that construction. I will assign a gravel road to this thing as well, and let them get this completed too, because eventually we want to get into the first city building when we can. So that's the first one. Wonderful. How do we continue? Well, first let's do double speed, and then let me tell you a little bit about shortcuts up here. I use these are numbers. So if I press 1, I get dirt roads. If I press 2, I have gravel roads. If I press 3, that is a bulldozer. And these are just my settings. 4 is a footpath, 5 is concrete rail, 6 is electrified rail, and so on. 9 is a construction office assign tool. That is also found over here. If you want to assign them yourselves, click on the plus button. Then click on whichever one you have, and if you want to remove that, that's how you remove it. But if you want to put it back in, click on whatever button it is, and click into the number where you want to use it, and that's all there is. And now you can just click number 9, and you get that thing assigned. Didn't I turn off weather? I thought I turned off weather. Moving sun. Oh, it was set to the right thing, but then I forgot that I did it wrong. Gives me a minute to look at something. Fuel first. I'll get to fuel, Ozone. It's the road construction can start, and I want the road construction to move, and I want to show something else, which these guys will say just in a minute when they get to a thing, because the game gives you a lot of hints. They're not always perfect hints, but it gives you a lot of hints, and you should use them. One of them, for example, and I'm using my I'm using my shortcuts here, but I probably shouldn't. One of them is give yourself shortcuts so trucks like the ones that you see there don't have to drive the extra distance. And that's the first one. So there's a little roundabout way for them to go. Then this guy is just going to drive and drive and drive. That's fine. We'll just leave that. Let it do what it does. I'll show you what I want to talk about in just a minute. Because we need to fill in these guys. When you want to get these open storages going, I highly recommend that you just set them to one resource, and we just need steel, prefabs, bricks, and boards. We don't need all of them in the same amount, but we do need all of them. You can either click on the percentage, and then click on the clear all percentages, and then fill in what you want, whatever that is. Or you can click left control, and then click on it, and then it starts out with 0. So this one we want steel. Give it 100%, enter, and it's happy, and let us know that this is steel. Not steel, steel. Thank you. Looks like this one stopped construction. There's a lot of gravel sitting here now, but nothing is happening. What could possibly be the issue, Ozone? So this guy's not telling you anything, but the vehicle need refuel. No fuel station in range. Okay, also, some vehicles are without fuel. Read your error messages. It's very helpful in a lot of cases. Sometimes it may not make sense right away, but very often you can find some help in the game. They did try to make that a lot better. So here we are. Let's get a fuel station. Fuel station's down here. We're going to pause the game because nothing's happening right now. And the fuel station's down here under refueling, and there are some normal ones that you have to build first. You can't because you don't have fuel, so don't do that. And then there's this one, gas station free. This one you just placed down. It is effectively a tank. It's effectively just a tank with fuel in it, and you can just siphon out some gas, which is totally sufficient for everything that we need to do. I'm going to give it a little bit of extra room because this is... It doesn't matter, you can make it a longer road, but we will have to replace this sooner rather than later. Now we have a fuel station. These guys are still not moving, and I unpaused it just to prove that, because there is no fuel in the station, which in realistic mode, you cannot use these buttons up here. These buttons, well, it tells you are enabled in all the other modes that magically deliver stuff to you. It's just like a drone delivers fuel here without you seeing a drone, and it's instantaneous. It's wonderful. But we don't have that, so how do we get fuel here? You have two options. You can either set up a completely direct line, which just picks up fuel from somewhere and drops it off here, but that is bad, very bad in this case, because the gas station only has station for vehicle loading, unloading, 1. Which means if you tell a vehicle to unload there, just like as a separate tank, then nobody can refuel there. If you don't say that, then the vehicle will drive all the time and will waste a lot of fuel when it doesn't have to. So that's a bad option. There's a better option. If you go down here to General Cargo, under distribution, it looks grayed out, but there is a free distribution office that you can build. And I don't think I've said this yet. Most buildings have a limit, especially the free ones have a limit of how many you can get. This one says count 0 of 5. Construction office is 0 of 7. Fuel stations is 0 of 12, something like that. There is a limit to how many free buildings you can get before you have to do something. So these are really just used for expansion purposes, but they shouldn't be used as good options. And one of the downsides of using the free ones is, for example, the free construction office and any of the free offices do not have internal fuel storages, which means vehicles have to go to a fuel station to refuel. If they had internal fuel storage, they would A, need power, and B, need to be delivered fuel to, then the vehicles never have to leave, which is good for very slow vehicles like an excavator or a bulldozer. But these don't have that, so there's a luxury missing. Let's get some fuel. How do we do that? Let's get a new vehicle mechanism. In the beginning, the vehicles with the highest capacities are what you want. If you're not sure if you're getting the best one, you can go to oil tank. Look on the options. You have a 7 ton, a 3.6 ton, and an 11 ton. This is the one that you want. Cool. Let's get that one to the distribution office, because if you would now place add a new connection here and select the customs house, it will tell you this, which is very confusing. You don't know what you're supposed to do. So we're going to wait until the cistern arrives, and once the cistern arrives, we can get some extra info. So now tells you, what do you want to load? You want to load anything that fits in a cistern, because that is what it's able to move for you. But it's also set to unload, which is a little unfortunate, but that is okay. So we're going to click on load. And then if you really want to, you can specify what you want. But if you don't specify it, The destination will determine what can be dropped there as long as it's specified before. I like to leave it like this. It's a little less micromanagement for you, but if you like your micromanagement, just click on it. Just be aware that nothing else is going to be moved, and you will just always have to come check. Which is fine sometimes. We're not going to check that. And then you're going to assign your fuel station, just like this, with a percentage. And this percentage is maybe hard to understand. And I don't think the game does an amazing job explaining it. I thought this number... Yeah, there we go. Vehicles unload cargo to building when building storage are filled to a lower percentage than this. That's the first clue. So, I'll try to explain this as quick as I can. So this station has 20 tons of fuel, which means if you set it to 30 tons of fuel, then this station is considered good enough or filled up to 30% at 6 tons? 6 tons of fuel. So, as long as there's more than 6 tons of fuel in this building, this distribution office will not do anything. At the moment, when there's less than 6 tons of fuel, 5.9 tons of fuel in this building, the distribution office will send a truck. The distribution office by default will always try to fill the truck 100%, but it will say less if there is less room at the destination. So, if I would set this to a number like 80, 80 would mean 16 tons of fuel in here. And the distribution would want to send this truck, which can hold 11 tons. So once we're below 16 tons of fuel, 15.9, send the truck. It will tell this truck to not fill up 100% because it will only be able to fit 4 and a little bit of tons of fuel. That's bad. So you want to make sure that this percentage is set to a number that is, when it's hit or when you're below that number, leaves enough room in the destination to fit a full truck. That's all you need to do. Sounds very confusing, and we had a lot of talks about that forever ago. But that's what you want to do. So most of the time, the default values are totally fine. Increasing them sometimes makes sense, but most of the time default is okay. So once this guy drops it off, you should see everyone else starting to move, and even the trucks over here are doing stuff. They're just going to refuel. Stuff's going to get out. This guy, even though it just dropped it off, is also going to refuel because trucks that come from the customs house by default are not full. Cool. That's neat. Now I want to make sure that we understand what we're doing here. So that one is steel. This one is going to be bricks, I think. Would be nice if it actually highlights the right ones, but 100% here. Bricks there. Before I keep going, I will just assign them real quick. So I'm going to tell this guy to go here and here. By default, they're going to be set to load. That's fine, if that's what they need. But we want to unload stuff there. As you can see, we can't unload anything here because we don't have a vehicle currently that allows for that. So let's get a vehicle that can unload in those places. Open haul, get which one you want. Again, the bigger size is better. We're just going to get a different color here, get that little spray icon. Cool, 2 blue ones. That's nice, and they will start dropping off in these places. Because the places are already set to 100% only allowing this, the the distribution office can figure out, even if you don't tell it what to do there, what to drop off there. This is something that Stuart told me, and I kind of like it. You will use the most bricks, so steel is here and bricks is here. Make sure that your brick storage is relatively full. And you can play with the numbers again. We have 76 tons. If you set it to 70%, what is that? Our truck can hold 11 tons of bricks, something like that. Just make sure that what we just talked about with the distribution office still makes sense and that they do the thing that you want them to do. Cool. So they can go there and start unloading those. We're going to get 2 more in here. Limit amounts for sure. We want prefabs, which is this one. And something else. You could totally store other, like, you could have mixed storages, but there's so little storage in these guys that simply is not worth the squeeze. So boards in here, and what's this? Prefabs. No, click on the thing. Prefabs. Thank you. Goes here, and then you just assign that again to the distribution office. And now this is the thing where it makes your life easier if you don't select whatever they can pick up and don't pick up here. As you can see, this is purple now because it's set to to load there, not to unload, so just make sure to switch it. Yellow means currently it's neither, and then unloading means green, just in case you're curious. And for prefabs, I think I want to be a little more, and boards, I think I can do a little more too. You can mess with these numbers. The only thing that you really need to worry about at some point is, are your trucks busy? As long as they're busy, you're doing it right. If they're not busy, you're doing it wrong. But what we really want is to avoid these 4 trucks to add to the customs traffic over here on top of everything else that goes on. So anything you can do to reduce your customs traffic is good. Wonderful, got this done. Let's look at the chat quick. K-South 2009. Hey Joe, how can you do the assign construction hotkey without the window showing each time? You can't. You have to go to 9, then you have the window, and then you select the things that you want. Which, great segue! In the beginning, it is probably necessary or recommended to do this. Get the construction offices all in the same group. I'll do it like this. If you find one that you don't want, which we will need in just a second, I'm going to do this one. No, unassign, wrong one. Assign construction, construction office, assign construction. Why can't I, oh, to delete it, you just have to go down here and hope that you find the right one. I think it's that one. And then as you can see, blue is on and nothing is off. You're going to have a second construction office right here. What is this one going to be? This one is going to be our bus and crane. Why bus and crane? Because they're very important to what we do, but you don't want to waste them on things like roads, because these can be done by just mechanisms. So let's fill up the construction offices while they're doing the road over there. This one is, as we just said, this is going to be bus crane. And then you just tell it what you want. I would like a bus. What size should you get? Honestly, in the beginning, most of them are fine. The only limiting factor is you only have this many foreign workers, and they're not going to grow. You're not going to have more than that. So pick something that is reasonable sized for that. The 7 sometimes is a really good choice, but I find with the workers from the customs house that are already not working very long, just get the big bus right away. And then we have all these options. Pick what you want that are not too expensive, not too cheap. I guess we're going with this one because the cheapest. Cool. That one can come here. Now it will tell you that it doesn't have a source assigned, but it will also tell you that currently this road is assigned. I would say the buses and the cranes are the ones where you don't want to allow auto search. Well, okay, if you do allow auto search, turn off roads and footpaths because you don't want them to go there, and they should be fine. It may be helpful to increase your range a little bit, and you can do that on all your construction sites. That can be helpful, that can also be hurtful, so just keep an eye on that. But just for the beginning, I find a little less micromanagement is maybe a little healthier, especially for new players. If you're experienced in this, absolutely do it your way. But for me, I like this. And then let's get a crane. There are a couple of cranes that you can get. One is road crane. We have these two. The other one is only at the customs house, which is, let's go here, tower crane, where are you? Are these. For these, you are required to have a transportation mechanism, which is a flatbed truck that can actually carry these. Not every flatbed truck can carry these, but they cannot move by themselves, so they're always reduced by that, which is hurtful to your production. So in the beginning, especially because you only have a few workers, because here's the kicker. You remember earlier when I talked about the speed level usually tells you which one is faster? Not always. Here's a crane. The crane will always speed up a person 5x. So a person just counts as 5 more when there's a crane. But the speed level only matters for how many people, how many workers this crane can support at the same time. In this case, 57. Once you pass 57 in the same construction site, you need another crane. So this one does pretty well with that. This one does pretty well with that too. But most construction sites, when they need a crane, allow more than one crane anyways. So the tower cranes are great for later when you have more workers, but right now we have 26, 28, like less than 30 workers. So instead of using the big tower crane that needs a flatbed to even move, we're going to go with road cranes, because road cranes have a very sufficient speed, 26. That's a number that matches pretty well with what we have here, 23. Both of them are fine, but I'm just going to get a couple of these. 3 of them should get us moving. The thing you want to do with the buses, and this is why I put buses and cranes together, is cranes only work in conjunction with workers, and workers only, well, workers sometimes need cranes to do something. Well, no, they don't. You can do everything with workers by themselves, but a crane will speed it up immensely. Having them in the same place allows you to specifically assign construction so they can get attacked all at the same time. You can add more buses later on, but again, right now we just have such a low foreign worker number that it's okay to do it this way. Looks like our trucks currently are done driving around, so I'm going to give them a little more to do. That's a fuel station. No, that's steel. That's right. Good. Just a little more to do. We have money. We can spend it, and we're going to use all of these resources anyways. So that one is done there. Is my road done? My road is not done. That's the first thing that we have to wait for. A couple other things that we need. We need excavators. Let's look at my sheet here to see what I'm actually doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, because excavators are used in pretty much all places. I forgot that this one does not have workers assigned. Sorry about that. So that's the excavators. Cool. This one is bus crane. This one will just be excavators. And you can make this distribution however you want, and we do have a couple extra construction offices that we can use. You just don't have to use it right away. Okay, and then we need one more. There are just a couple more things that we don't have yet. You need a covered hull. Get the biggest one you can have. There's generally just one trip that they have to take. Make it count, so there's not a chance that they have to take two. And the other one is concrete mixers. This one is the hardest one to manage because it takes the longest. Well, not the longest, but when you need concrete, you generally need a lot of it, and you can only move 10 tons at a time. This one is a good one to get away from the customs house relatively early on. Anonymous, thanks for subbing. Okay, that looks good. One more tip. If you don't want to select everything individually like so, you can just click on this button up here. If you, sorry, you have to have nothing selected for that. You can just click on this button up here, and then, especially in the beginning, makes it really easy to assign a custom cells like this. Also, you have the option to copy source buildings to another building, so you can click on this, and now this one has the exact same source distribution as before. Just example again, like so. That's how it works. This works for a lot of different buildings. It's very nice for when you move your construction offices to a full-time construction office or to a rear construction office. Hope that makes sense. Okay, let's keep moving because we're pretty close to where I want to be anyways. My hope and dream is that the city is going to be somewhere here, and the road is going to be relatively close to that, which is nice. We're probably going to add another road right here, which means I want to plan my first building, which is the heating plant. Put it here so that the heat output, the little arrows over there, are pointed at the future city location, and this is your starting point. Why? Because I would like to know where my 800-meter limit is. So we got that one there, and then it's not terrible. If you don't like the layout of this, you can also hit T again, and then your road is on the other side, and your output is still going that way. That one you can pick, and I honestly think I may like this way better. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make a huge difference. Honestly, no, this one is fine, because this allows us to get workers in from one side and supplies in from the other side. That is a good thing. So here's what we're going to do. Get me a road connection in here, just to get something started. This is probably fine. Let's get a nice angle, and when you do that, you disrupt the road construction that was happening before. So the first part is still here. The second part, the bulldozer just went home, because this became a brand new construction. They will still pick it up, and it'll still do the things that they want to do, and they will send the excavator first, which is a little unfortunate. But that's maybe okay. I could tell these to not do roads and footpaths, and then the excavators won't go out to those places, and we should be okay. This is cement and covered. Once we get into more construction, we may add some more construction offices over here and there. Now, sometimes you will get this, just white things, which is also called the blueprint phase, and you can't even select it. If you're happy with what you have, click down on the button here and say Start Construction of Plant Infrastructure. And then this one is turned into the actual plan. And that's great, isn't it? Yes, it is. So now our dozer can actually come out here and do the things that it needs to do. Cool. That connection done. Let's get our city planning started. Sean, hey, how's it going? Thanks for asking. I am doing well. What do we got here? Tool for measurement. We click here. That's a starting point, and I want to get about 800 meters away from it just to be safe, which is right there. This looks relatively far, but that's what's safe, because now we can put our industry over here, we can put our industry over there. Honestly, putting an industry here may be the better choice to start with, because you do want to keep your driving distances very short in the very beginning. We can do all of those things, no problem, but now we know this is the distance that we want to stay away just for pollution reasons. And here's another bonus, we're getting closer to that custom cells over there. So what we're going to do is add a line in the sand. Well, I kind of like that phrase now. Where we just say no residential buildings can be past this line. That's very, very important, and we should probably stick to that for a very long time. Cool, that can go there. I'm changing my mind here a little bit as we're going along. I will use another gravel road that goes this way that connects us to our city. This is not super pretty, but it's super practical, and again, looks like a crowfoot or a sunbird foot. Let's tell this guy to stop constructing on this, because it's really not important. It's not, this road doesn't go anywhere yet. The angles are nice, because the bigger your angle is, the less your vehicles have to slow down, and sometimes that matters. And what I'm thinking now is I will probably put the construction industry just on this side of that road, and if we need to bring workers directly to the heating plant, we can, but we can also get the resources from the border to the heating plant relatively easy this way. So that should be fine. Get that assigned. And because our bulldozer is currently already doing something and having work done in parallel, we're just gonna let these guys do roads for the time being. You can either do that by auto-assigning them, or click that little blue button and tell them to go to these constructions like that. Or you go to your construction office assignment tool, go down here, select the assign construction mode, and assign all of these as you please. And again, this is a drag tool, which is nice, but this should work and just gets us to a healthy place. Cool. Let's move on. There's some constructions that we can do right now that we will need regardless of what we do following or what comes next. We need power. There's nothing around that, and currently our construction crews are not doing anything. So let's get some power going. I would say in the beginning it may be... I've been playing with these high voltage priority switches a little bit. I think it will be helpful to have it here. It costs a little extra money, but it's not... I don't think it's critical that you have it, but having this here means that if you ever build your own power source or power places, you can get power in wherever you need it. But this just has to be the first node where stuff starts. I think I'm going to place that here. It's not super pretty, but I think that works. And then here's one pro tip that I had to learn the hard way over time. Build your first, not build, but plan your first rail near your custom cell so you don't forget it's there. That's really all this does. And we only have one access road there, so if you build a rail yard, you probably build it closer to here. And then make sure that you just remember that it's here. It's not important that you build it, but it's important that later on when you do want to build it, you can build it and nothing is in the way, especially with power lines. This is helpful. So just put that in there. This is just a reminder for me. You can build it as pretty or as ugly as you want, because I would like to use this as an industry sector, and there is a chance you may want to connect some rail to this industry sector. But the important piece is right here where we're going to build these power lines. You don't obstruct yourself by placing something that you can't get around later. So let's get that one there. Let's see if we can get through this. Power lines, sadly, are a little finicky in the game, and sometimes you just have to go and undo things. Here's a danger one. There are two construction modes that are currently on. Two blueprints that are currently active. There's rail, and there's the power line over here. There's this thing. If you click cancel all plans, sounds dangerous, right? I'm going to hit escape twice, and now it will still look the same. Cancel all plans. There are three icons over here. There's a road icon, there's a rail icon, and there's a power line icon, which is nice. If I press this button now, I cancel everything. If I press this button now, I plan everything. However, if you go into the specific submenus, like this, and it's the submenu down here, there's only one icon that's active. So if I press X now, it only cancels the thing that's active. Hope that makes sense. So if you ever get into a situation where this button is there and you're not sure which one's going to activate or deactivate, now you know. Actually, I'm going to press double escape again because escape gets you back to this planning zone. I don't know why road is active right now because we don't see one, but that is fine. We're just going to assign this and leave it alone. We don't have to do anything with that for a very long time. I will also get rid of this extra bypass road because we're not going to need it for a while. There's supposed to be a shortcut for when you hit Shift or Control or any of the other ones. Alt? No, Alt just moves the camera. There was a shortcut. It doesn't work for some reason. That was supposed to highlight the whole thing. Maybe wrong there, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. But I wanted to get rid of that because I would like to put the power line right next to this. You can come in here, and then I'm just going to run you near the road. There is an ugly trick. I will show you what that ugly trick is, because you will pay by pylon and not by length. So this one says 322 meters, uses 5.2 tons of steel. It's not terrible, but you could get rid of every other pylon effectively by doing this. Where are you? I'm going to press 3. No, let's get a bulldozer out. Get rid of that one. I'm doing it wrong. Yes, you are. Okay, let's get this one together again. Let's take the middle one out with the bulldozer, and now there's nothing here. If you know where the middle piece is going to go, you can put something like a free mud path right there, then build your power line again, like so. And now, for the whole construction, we are 6.9 tons of steel. Bad example. I know that this is cheaper because we mostly pay for the pylons. The lines are not super expensive. The only problem that I have with this is these lines eventually get super low, and some structures will hit it, some vehicles will hit it. This one looks is actually fine, but it saves you a few bucks if you want to go that route. I just stay away from it, personally. I did it for a while, and later on you're going to be like, oh, this is too low and this is ugly and I don't like it. But I wanted to give you that option. You can choose how you want to play this game, because that's what this game is really good at. So it's going to place these just next to the road because that's where they should be. Get you over here, and now we have a priority switch that if we want to bring our own power in, we can relatively easy without getting crazy, and then we can even sell stuff back to this side if we want to at some point. So getting started with this should be helpful. I will give you just a dirt road connection right here, and then we can start this construction. And here's the nice thing. These guys, most of these guys, are you set up to 3 kilometers? Yes. Most of these guys are going to go out now because that's a construction that they can work on. Cool, high voltage switch. Awesome. So they can get started on all of this. If you're not sure that your construction officers have picked up everything, you can help that by going to your construction officer assign tool, tell them, no, I want you to do all of this. And then it can get there. And the same with the bus. Because you do need workers for most of the phases from here on out. Just tell them, hey, I want you to go out here and do the thing. Awesome. That should get things moving for now. Did I assign workers for you? Gravel not assigned, asphalt not assigned. That's fine. They're assigned over there. Looks like everyone has something to do. That bulldozers can't complete. Okay. Again, if you have comments for me, please put the @BBojo so I can see it. Otherwise, I'm trying to keep a 2-hour time limit here, which we're already well past an hour, and I haven't even planned the city yet. So this will be fun. Okay, city planning. Next, city planning. Got it. Let's see. How do you start a city? It's relatively easy. You just have... sorry. It's not, but it is. In the beginning, the very first city, ignore public transport. You just want a city center and build everything around that. What should be in the city center? Everything that matters the most, it has to be reachable by foot. By foot, either from the residence itself or from a station, like a bus station or a train station, that is in walking range of the residence. So the station can extend your range. It's dangerous because the station then has to have enough space for all residents to, or for everyone that wants to wait there, which is passengers, residents, tourists, students, and workers. It needs enough room for them to wait there and then to continue their journey. So you have to make sure that you pick a well-sized one. We're going to get to that in a second. The other thing is there was an upgrade, there was an update, which we now have asphalt footpaths which if you build this one, your max walking range is 480 meters. The gravel footpath gives you 400 meters, which is totally sufficient. It's an 800 meter radius city, which in this game is this big. I mean, that's huge. So we can figure it out from there. Here's what I would start with. Get a line in the sand of 400 meters. You can either use a road tool, which I believe if you use the dirt roads, you don't have the distance. Oh, you do have the length again. Get a dirt road to figure out what 400 meters are. It's right here. I'm going to place the end right there to know that that is the node of 400 meters, and then the node disappears. The other thing you can do is have your tool for measurement on again, get rid of all the old points, and do the same thing. Just place that one down and figure out where the 400 meter mark is. It's around there. So this is as far away as I want to get from anything. And the nice thing is you can actually keep this open. You don't have to close it, so you can see where the 400 meter mark is. The next thing that I like to do is build a station and a shopping center. Okay, let's do that. Down here you have a bunch of different bus stops for citizens. The small bus stops are really just for drop-offs. Nothing else. Unless you have trams, then it's a little different, but we're not going to do trams in this city yet. You have bigger bus platforms, which are really what you want. And I would say get one of the big ones. There's a 2000 one, you will be safe for this one, and you have the smaller 800 one, and then you have a 600, a 500, 400, and 230. The bigger the better, especially if you're planning on using this as an extension to your walking range. That's very important. If you're not using it as an extension, the smaller ones are fine. You can also build multiple. Build a small one or a reasonable sized one for just your workers and one other one for extending the walking range for everyone else. Totally fine. We're going to keep it easy. I like this bus platform for right now, just because. We're going to see how this works. You could let them come in like this, or if you press T, you flip the signs a little bit, and you see the numbers and the label went away because I'm hitting left control. Let's place this somewhere right here, and when you place them, I would say make sure that you leave enough room in this piece of road that you can run a footpath through that later. Because we want to... Footpaths are a little faster than gravel paths. Footpaths are about the same speed for walking citizens as asphalt roads. So you want to make sure that either you have a footpath there or you have an asphalt road running somewhere. And right now I'm going to turn everything into gravel, so asphalt is not happening. That's the first thing. These are one-way roads, which makes this building a little harder to construct later on, so be aware of that. I'm going to suspend construction for right now. Again, I should show you that because one-line roads are not super obvious right away. This building has one-way roads. You see that? There's arrows that tell you where they go. This building has two-way roads. The arrow goes both ways. Just make sure that you see that, because if you build this building and the exit road is blocked, vehicles cannot exit. It's a little awkward when that happens, but I've told you now, so you should know. We're going to do this. Give it an access for the bus coming in. You can build this however you want, but this is what I want to start with, and I'm hoping that this guy's almost done with everything that I wanted to do. Actually, this is what we're going to do. Give me an access road. Just like before, this is how you extend your working range for everything. I probably should have done the other side. That's fine, we can just go in here. And then, because this road is already done, and then we can tell our construction crews to come out here because we need this to be graveled. Ideally, all of this to be graveled as well. We're going to click our construction crew assignment tool and tell them, hey, this one. And then this one when you get there. If you want, you can do that right now, because all this really does is start sending out the gravel trucks when we want them. And here's a great opportunity to extend our gravel fleet. So we're just going to tell them this one as well, and then that one is just a little out of reach right now, but we could get to it if we wanted to. But we have 3 gravel trucks right now driving around. You know what? That's not enough. Let's get another crew out of there. Let's do these. Construction office, let's flip you so your node is pointing the same way. There's no other reason. Well, there's a reason. More nodes makes it harder to upgrade something, and the shorter the piece of road, the less the possibility of maybe using a mechanism. You may have to use workers for that, which is not always a great thing. I'm going to use the big ones for this one because we're going to use big dumpers for other things later on as well. And I will use our copy button to assign the same sources, which is cool. Last thing, I will assign you to our group 1. because that's our crew that does all these things. Because these are just dumpers, I'm not gonna mess with what they can and can't work on. I just want them to go out and actually drop off a bunch of materials, and that should be fine. I could have done this with the small dumpers, but we are also using a lot of dirt roads still, so the big dumpers are probably fine. So first thing is done. Next thing that we need is a shopping center. Okay, let's get a shopping center going. Where is the shopping center? We're going down to the residential buildings, and we have this under food and shopping. I highly recommend against building anything in your first city that doesn't deliver everything. In this case, we can store food and meat, but we want food, clothes, electronics, and meat. All four of those. If you build something that's less than that, you will use more workers, and it will be less efficient, and it may be bad for what you want to do. So highly recommend against that. Random commenter, watching your videos was wondering if I knew that you can prospect for oil, coal. Yeah, you can cheat the system. That's fine. You can do it if you want to, but if you want to do that, just go over here, turn off research, and then you don't have to wiggle around your mouse like a weirdo. Wink. That was what we had to do in 2019 when this game came out. I don't think that's necessary anymore. Okay, so shopping center. I like to build to the size that you want, and we're going to ignore that there's a Ukraine DLC over here for now because you may play the vanilla version. What can the shopping centers hold? This one can have a maximum amount of visitors, 150. That can satisfy about 2,500 citizens, approximately. It's not an exact science, but approximately depends on your productivity of your workers, which depends on your happiness and your loyalty and a bunch of other stuff. This one does 2,500. This one does 7,500. The numbers are close to that relationship. So 405 visitors allows 7,500 people in the first city. I will tell you that your first city is going to be bigger than you expect it to be. Normally, I will tell you also to plan with what industries you want to run there. I actually didn't want this one to get completed. Go away. It's really close. We can just get it done, I guess, but I'll do that later. Yeah, we don't want... Should have just let that done. I'm bothered by that now. Doesn't matter. What am I saying? Yeah, normally I would say, what industries do you want there? Count your numbers of workers that you need. Times 3, that is the minimum number of workers to have 100% workers in every shift. And then you have to add a fudge factor on top of that because you still need public utilities and a bunch of other things that are needed in the city. So it's times 3.5 to times 4 is really the number of workers that you need. And then you know how big your city needs to be. And then you move on. In your first city, that's not really how it works because you have to get started somewhere. So we get started with the biggest shopping center because this will allow us to not be screwed later on. I'm going to place this relatively far away from that node or that node. I could do this one. Okay. This one is more in the center of the city. Sure, let's put you there. The shopping center is good to place as another building because everyone needs food every day. It's just a thing that they do, and there's not much that you can do about that. And they will either go to a bus stop every day, or they will go to a shopping center every day. You can pretty much guarantee that. So that's why I set it up that way. Something that I started doing recently, and I actually really like, because the shopping center has a very good storage size for the warehouse, but a terrible storage size for cold storage and meat. And we're relatively far away from the border, which means we would have to build a in-between storage for meat, which will cost more money and more trucks, more other things. That why do that when you can just build, for now, a meat storage right here that you can just deliver straight to the shopping center. Don't have to worry about ever running out. It's, I don't know, I like it. You may disagree with that, but let's build a meat storage. You can go with the big one or the small one. Now here, the same thing. I want the road connection to have enough space for a footpath, very important. And I think I'm going to place it here. We also have this option, I suppose, which may actually work. No, we're going to do this one. That'll be fine. And then, yeah, just make sure that you have a green connection there by auto connecting it. And then I don't want to interrupt the construction on the road to the right. So I'm going to hold left control, click down, go to our factory connection under general cargo, build factory connection, get this one in here. Looks good. We can leave that. Let's assign this stuff. Also assign that road when they get to it. Beautiful. All of these things are getting worked on. Let's get to our construction office, making sure that they have everything assigned. They do. I'm surprised to see that these are not done yet. Let's check what they need. You need steel. Okay, here's a problem. Oh, Gian, thank you. Thank you for that drop in the bucket. I love it. Yes, that sounded more stupid than I meant to. No, I tried to imitate Colonel Failure there, but I'm an idiot. Thank you, much appreciated. So, I didn't assign the sources for these guys, the open hulls, which is why none of the green construction is ready yet. And none of you have told me, you probably told me. But there you go. Steel comes from the steel plant. Brick comes from the brick plant. Here's a cool feature of the game. If we click on prefab panels and tell them, I want you to go here, this building is not suitable as a source for prefab panels because it knows that this is set to 100% only store steel ever. So it's just like, nah bro, you can't. So you just go over here, just assign the things that are actually assignable, and then there you go. And now they're going to run around and start doing the construction that you actually want, which is wonderful. We probably wasted some money on some foreign workers there, but it's not the end of the world, trust me. What were those blue numbers in parentheses? So when you have this thing on with the tool measurement for the heights, you can go here, and this is the slope. This is the gradient that you get, so it's relatively flat. I know Lee Hawkins, great City Skylines content creator, also plays this game a lot. I have a review on his Republic. You should go check it out. And check out his channel, because he has an amazing new how to get started in City Skylines 20-minute from, what was it, 0 to 8,500 citizens? Amazing stuff. It's maybe the best edited starter guide that exists. It was just great to watch, even if you don't play City Skylines. Watch what he did, because it's such a... I couldn't stop watching it, and I don't watch video games that much anymore, so there you go. No. What am I doing? Oh, stuff. Let's get back to here. I'm going to start using the shortcuts, because my shortcut is 9, because it's a little faster to get to this place, because speed does matter for a 2-hour thing that we're already into 1 hour and 16 minutes. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's get this all assigned. You can get right here. Triple check that we could get a footpath through here. If we wanted to, we can. We're not going to build one right away. They can just figure out what they're doing there. Get our construction going. Cool. 9, 1, 2. 1 is just the group. Which these quick selections are also with the keyboard numbers that you can use. Wonderful. Next things. Now it gets relatively easy, because all you need is just the things that your citizens still need. So, we have a shopping center done. We're going to get residentials at the very end. Shopping center done. Alcohol, you can build one. You don't have to. This helps you with happiness a little bit when you have problems. Otherwise, you really don't need it. Leave that alone. Beach bar cafe. These present just alcohol. So there again, that's just a bar thing. That's fine. Cinema helps you with culture. This is one that always works with culture. That's why I just built them, and I think I'm just going to plop it right here. Just throw a little angle at there on it, because it's cute, and they can get started on building that relatively soon. We are done with this gravel road. If you want to asphalt this now's the time. Otherwise, delete it, because it will take up space for you. You can only delete it if there's no vehicle on it. So there was a truck driving up there, and while that was on there, I couldn't have deleted it, but now I could. Cool. So there's this. Once this excavator is done building its thing, we can get this cinema started constructing, and probably a couple other things too. What else do we need? Oh, just go down the list. It's relatively simple now. You could, and you probably should, add one more culture building. You have a lot to choose from. I heard, and this is a little awkward because you can also go to tourism. Attractions also work. You could build a tower if they're not super expensive, but they are relatively expensive here, so that's not cool. I think Gallery of Art, 33 tons, okay. Museums, 10 tons of steel. Museum of the Republic, you're just pretty big. What do you need? So I'm looking at the resources needed to build these things. They help because you will never build a church, but you can replace the demand for religion with attractions, and that's what this is for. You can do that, but since a pool is also an attraction replacement, maybe we don't need it. So you could place one, but usually you can place one of these later on too. Just keep it in walking range of this building, which we will have a lot of space up here. So don't need that. Then we need something for sport. There are new things available in vanilla, but all of these at the very bottom say requires weather temperature above 5 degrees Celsius. So you can't use them in the winter or when it gets cold, which makes them silly as a primary source for sport. but totally fine for other sources. Are the excavators assigned to that thing? Yes, they're just taking a very long time to get out here. Cool. And looks like you're actually done with that, which means we can get started on the bus station to get worked on, and you can also get a footpath here, so we can get A, this one constructed, and B, start on the cinema. It's a little awkward. Some buildings have road connections, like the cinema does. There's a road connection to the right, but don't require road connections to get built. Some buildings, like the sports, no, not the sports hall, but in the DLC, this one also has a road construction, and this one requires the road construction to get built. It's just a little awkward. I think it's a little annoying, but it's fine. But now looking at this, it actually has a space here. Well, it's the Ukraine DLC, so we're not going to use that. But we have a sports hall that's a little bigger, and then we have another sports hall that's a little smaller. I think I want to use this one, just to keep it a little different. So place this in the center of town somewhere. Right here should be fine. We can build that soon, very soon. I would like to get a couple more things done and then place some footpaths down before we get into this too much, but this is fine. There's a sport. It has a better ratio for visitors, 105 versus 90 to 15 and to 18. So this one is a little bit better. Not a lot, but that's okay. Okay, moving on. As you can see, I have both roads done over here so they can actually get out. If you didn't have that, you may have a problem. Cool. What's next? Go down to this button, state infrastructure. What do we need? A hospital. Yes, you need a hospital, 100% in walking range in the beginning. And I'm going to place a big one. Why do I place a big one? I want the big one simply because I know that this city is going to get large. And there's no good reason to go small for a large city. So that's why we're building this one. Are you in walking range? Yes. You're in walking range of everything because you're in walking range of the bus station. So just placing you up here should be fine. Again, I'm just keeping enough distance for any access. I did turn this into gravel roads because I would like that to get done as soon as possible. Looks like you are almost done, so we can get started on some footpath action, which I'm excited about because footpaths always take forever. We're going to do that one, and then we're going to do this one, and one quick connection here, and we will figure out where the other connection comes from, and that will be fine. Get these assigned to what they need to be assigned to. Cool. Looks like I accidentally assigned the bus stop to this, which we don't want. Assign reconstruction, or assign replacement and replace. No, we don't want that. We may need it here. Nope, there's a mechanism allowed out here. Perfect. Awesome. So they can work on this, and we can start working on more buildings. Awesome. So we got a hospital up there. Wonderful. Next thing, kindergarten and schools. The kindergarten is the only building in the game that cannot be walked to from the bus station. Has to be in range of the residential building, otherwise you don't have a chance. So this one is usually building a place later on, and I just place a couple around the residential areas, but you can also mitigate that by finding a place to place these. Pick whichever size you want. 180 seems to be working until you get to about 4,500 people in the city, so this is not a bad one, I think. And I think I want to move this because there are more things that I want to place here. So if we get you close enough to this, then go back here and get the sports hall placed again, also close enough to this. We have more, we get more room to place other things as we go. This should be good. Cool. Moving on. Fire station. This one's important because it is, if you ever have something burned down at an inopportune time, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That doesn't always happen. But what you need to do is just pick the fire station you want. It says maximum number of workers. Ignore that number because the maximum number of workers is assigned by whichever truck you invite or put in these stations. The trucks have a level and a speed which determines how many workers you will have in the fire station. So what you only should look at is the parking spots for vehicles. Which one? This one has 4, 8, and 3. Honestly, this one only has 2. They haven't fixed that yet. So I think as the primary fire station, you can probably start with this one. I'm going to place it on the south side of the pollution line, just because, and this is important, I want to be able to get to all of our industries, which will be somewhere in this area, and to our city without building another fire station near the industry. So that's important, and that should work. Looks like we're getting some stuff done over here, which is nice. Nope, wrong one. There you go. Get that one and get that one. What, are you missing something? Did I construction stop? Mechanism, electronic components. I think I have electronic components assigned. Just making sure here. Electronics, yes. This truck is just being busy, that's all. So you're going back home. Huh. Let's set this one as a high priority. Maybe they can figure out to go there next. But yeah, this is the thing. Okay, maybe this is a good opportunity to talk about this. The number of constructions that are going on here are important enough. Oh, our heating plant is being worked on. I didn't actually mean for this one to get done yet. Well, now you're almost done. Yeah, just finish it. Sorry, that's an oversight. This one could have been the first project for your city residents, but it wasn't, so now it is what it is. It's almost done, so it doesn't matter anymore. What was I saying? Something really clever. No, I forgot. Sorry, someone remind me. Okay, what's next? Yes, Marcin, you were right, and I think you probably said it at the right time. Okay, the next thing is a school. A school can be reached from the bus station because the bus station can have students parked there, which is good. I like the middle one for the 7500s. This is important if you have a lot of uneducated people, which you generally only have if you invite a lot of NATO members, because they come with no education. Only the US or our side has education in this game. So place that somewhere near the bus station, you should be fine. Looks like these are almost done with what they're supposed to work on, which is great. Do you need a mechanism? You are fine. You're doing all the things that I want you to do. There is a small thing that I want to do now, which should speed us up. You see this excavator? It's taken forever to get wherever it's going. I don't like that. So we're going to address that by how many more construction hubs do we have? We have one more free one right now, which is what we're going to use. I will place you on this little roundabout and start moving things around. Plop that there. This is going to be excavators. Okay. And we're going to move all of them that are currently sitting here out, change workplace and depot for all, because now they're closer to the city. I could move them even closer, but then I have to move them again later, and I don't want to do that, so instead I'm just going to plop them here. And I will allow them to be assigned to everything and to search for everything. But having them here should make our life a little easier. The only thing we have to do if we want to do that is add another fuel station, because they also have to get refueled. Let's put that here, so other mechanisms can get there too when they want to. Tell the distribution office to bring fuel out here, and we should be in business. This also means when vehicles come out there or come back, they may go refuel here, which is awesome. Okay. We have more stuff happening, or more stuff assigned. That's good. Let's assign this construction office to the same group. That's important. And then construction road on this road. Cool. That looks great. Let's get a couple more buildings going because all of this is important. And we are getting to a phase where we're obviously starting to do more and more construction, which is honestly a good thing. You want that. Get this one here, get that one connected there, that looks great. Get this one here and connected there, that also looks great. It's not super important that everything is super effective, you just need to make sure that you're moving along with what's going on. I would like this one done actually relatively soon, because once that is done I can get more other footpaths connected in a way that I like it. Let's get this one out here. Get that one going, and yeah, the footpaths are the thing that slows you down the most, especially once you want to get into utilities later on. Sorry, I'm stalling, not on purpose, but I am stalling. Here we are. Next things. Orphanage, don't need it. You can have it. This is only a problem if you have a lot of escapes or premature deaths. If you don't have those, you don't need an orphanage. If you have an orphanage, you have to make sure it's staffed and supplied correctly. Pretty easy. Universities, this should be your first construction for the city once you have residents. So we're going to leave this out. Again, it just has to be in walking range of the bus station, and then you will be fine. And you have to figure out which one you want to build. We're getting into research in a little bit. University Hall residence, this is important if you want to micromanage your university students. If you don't want to allow too many or too few, all of that stuff you can do with the university, with the residence or the dorm, whatever you want to call it. But we don't need that in the first city because we just want to make sure they have educated people. Police and everything down here is not important until you hit 2500. So you can wait on this. This will be a construction later on, and it's pretty easy to just add another road on the outside here and put your police stations, etc. there. If you want to pre-plan everything, totally go for it. It's just not a thing that you have to worry about right now. So don't worry about it. City Hall Accounting Office, at the time of recording this, there's no real purpose to this other than giving you a little more information about the city when you click on this button, but you can get all that information for your first city up here when you look at the stats. So it's not necessary, but it is there. And what else? That's really it. We can't build this one, but we do need to build a technical service office. You can, we're going to start with free ones, and we're going to get there. What time of the year it is? It's July, so it's not super late. We don't have snow coming anytime soon, but eventually you will have snow, and then you want to address something. Let's put a little bit of road there so that the trucks don't have to take funny roundabout ways to get anywhere. All right. It looks like we have a lot of excavators currently doing something, which makes me think I would like to get rid of this building. And if it's a free building, you can demolish them for free. If it's a real building or a real road, you need a demo office, which so far we didn't need, but at some point we might, so be aware of that. But I would like to get a couple more excavators just to speed up our progress just a little bit. And we're going to move these again at some point, but not right now. Also, the earlier you purchase something, the cheaper it is, because over time inflation and costs of your resources will change the price of everything that you build, because an excavator takes a certain amount of steel to produce. If you import a lot of steel, steel gets more expensive, plus inflation makes money more expensive. So the prices aren't stable. Even in the half year that we played so far, you should have seen some fluctuations already, hopefully. And that's, I think that's a good thing, but one can argue that. Get more footpaths in here as we're doing this. That's nice. Again, I just want to make sure that everything can kind of be reached by everything else. Something that often gets forgotten is monuments. But monuments, if you have the Ukraine DLC, get this one because it has a 400 meter range. It's perfect. Just place it right here and it will reach your whole city. The real value of the monuments, like the government loyalty influence plus 2%, is a small value that you don't have to pay too much attention to. Why do I say that? It's just, it's 2% per increase, like per day that they're influenced by it, and then they have a decrease by something too. If your loyalty doesn't decrease during the day more than the increase of these monuments, then you don't have a problem, and 2% is fine as far as I know. Monuments can also only get your loyalty up to 30 to 40% depending on your difficulty. So yeah, place this one is totally fine. The range is much more important. If you can't place this 400 meter one, find the next biggest one, which is 145 meters, which looks pretty, but you have to place it in more places, and I think it's a lot more expensive. I'm sure there are more monuments added over time, but this is what it is for now. Okay, construction crew number 2. I would like... Yeah, you're working on too many things at the same time now, buddy. I would like you to stop auto-searching for now. And it's not the end of the world what you're working on here, but all the numbers that are moving means it's sending workers to those places, which I don't necessarily like. So it's just assign, I guess, the kindergarten here and that one if it's... No, there's a mechanism available there. Then we don't want this. Not that. We'll do this, and then construction office. Yeah, that's fine. What is this one? Who are you? Oh, another excavator. You are... Excavators 2. Not show overlays. Construction, yes. This one, assign. Cool. Gotta check something. Okay. Alright, moving on. I think we can start getting some residents. And here's the reality. I'm looking at the time, it's 1:33. Sorry, it's an hour 33 into the stream. We don't have an industry planned yet. I will be surprised if we can get to residents anytime soon. I can speed this up a little bit in just a second, but for right now we need this. Let's talk about residences, because we also need utilities. Okay, utility is actually more important because I haven't done it yet. Heat exchanger has a capacity of 300 cubic meters. It says on the bottom. The large heating plant which we built has a heat water tank of 1050 cubic meters. That is, if you do the math, 3 of these is 900, and then there's 150 cubic meters left. You could use a small heat exchanger, which has 100 cubic meters. Okay, that's just some math. There are 2 types of pipes. There is a small heating pipe and a large heating pipe. The large one has 300 cubic meters, the small one has 100. Those numbers are all just zero-sum. They match up, that's what they mean. That should be relatively straightforward. Then there's underground pipes and above ground pipes. Never build the above ground pipes if you can avoid it. The underground pipes barely lose any heat. The above ground pipes lose a lot of heat, and you don't want that. So stick with the underground pipes. They're more expensive and all that, but stick with them because they will make your life a lot easier. So let's place a heat exchanger somewhere. How many of these do we need? Hard to say. That's really all I can really tell you. It's hard to say because it really depends on a lot of factors. And where should you place it? It has a really good range. How big is the range? Just play with it. Because there was a recent update that gave you some indication of what will be connected later on. Even with footpaths, you see these light red lines. It's not really light red, but that off-red color. Looks like 375 meters is or 380 maybe? 380 is our max. So just make sure that the heat exchanger is within 380 meters of your residences, which when you place the residences, you will see if you are in range. So I think I'm going to place you right here. Could place you anywhere. I don't want to put too much in the middle sector here because I may want to keep that pretty. Plop you there, heat exchanger, cool. That's that. The other ones for power, for example, the substations are not that important. That reminds me I need to add a power transformer down here, which I haven't done yet. Just plop you next to the road somewhere, and this power transformer will probably be used in a lot of places. What are you doing? I think you also want a high voltage switch here. No? You don't need one. You could put one here to split this out. You could also get one of these. More because the power transformer is the end of the road. I think this one is fine. It's the end of the road, so once you place it, that is the very end of what can be built in that area. So how about, should you put one here? Sure, put one there. Get this road connected a little prettier. So give me that one. There's nothing on there. I want to just delete that piece. There literally is nothing on there. Is there someone heading here for some reason? Try it again. Yeah, no, it thinks something's on there. Whatever. Game, if you insist, we'll just make a little uglier road connection and then we're fine. So that one can get built. Then I would like to see this one again get a wire. We're just going to use the biggest one. Makes my life a little easier for planning. That one can go there. This one just has to connect to this thing, and then we can get the medium voltage wires connected to everything that needs something. Get the other large one here. Cool. They can get built. And while they're being... That's the wrong one. While they're being worked on... No, I don't want this one. Just stop it. Voice. We can continue on our planning. Let's get some water. How are things over here? Fine. There's a truck parked there. Don't park there. As we can see, there's not a lot of there are not a lot of vehicles that are parked here, which is good, and there's not a lot of traffic at the customs house, which is also good. That means we are doing okay with our current planning and situation. So that looks good. Let's get another footpath in here because that's the next one that we will need. Sure, let's run it all the way through. Well, we're just going to build residences here, so this will be fine. All the way through there, and then connect you here, and then life should be good. Get that to our construction offices, and we should be okay. You guys doing the groundworks without someone telling you to do it? Pouring concrete. Yeah. You would like... What do you want? What's your current one? Pouring concrete. Okay. That's fine. Hey, something is done. Don't bring meat here if the meat storage is without power supply. Makes your life a little harder than it needs to be. Let's see, there is a footpath here that can be added. Cool. Just the little things. Try to stay on top of it if you can. And keep moving. Okay. Sorry. Let's go to the next thing, and now it's residences. What residences should you build? Well, there are a bunch of different options, and some of them are locked behind this. Required research, prefab, panel construction, or there's a bigger, durable prefab panels construction comes in some of the buildings. I think it's just a matter of height. And then, much more important, within the building, you have a couple stats. One, of course, is the passenger capacity at the bottom, because passengers live in the building, not citizens. And then quality of flats, 94%. That is a big one. You have many options, and in the beginning, I would say get bigger buildings, but get them with high quality of flats. This one has 77%, but it has more capacity for people. The quality of flats is a soft limit to your happiness. If you have high quality of flats, your happiness can be higher. Quality of flats, the quality of flats goes down with maintenance. So at some point, your quality of flats may be just 30% of what it was before. So your happiness at that time is relatively low. So you have to repair your apartments, which that makes sense, right? You don't want to live in a crappy apartment. You want to get it renovated. Cool. That's all nice. But if you start at a low number, you get really low really fast, and you want to avoid that. So start at a high number, which this one is the best one to start with. Let's just play with that. And we're just going to place it some way. The most vanilla residential buildings do not require road connections. This one doesn't. So we're just going to start with this. You can make them pretty by just flipping them around with the that they look a little more planned out. It's completely up to you how you want to do this. We're just going to place a couple. This depends again on how many citizens you actually want. Kind of up to you. We're going to start with some. We have 4 buildings here, and I think that is good enough to start with because we really just need a couple buildings full of residents to build the rest. And once you have your own citizens, you actually are a lot faster at building everything else. So highly recommend that you do that. 4 buildings. Cool. What all do we need to do, or what all do we need to know about those buildings? Couple things. There's a heat water tank. That one's very important for how much heat you actually want to, well, use or dissipate or make available or any of those things. So 10, which means for a 300 cubic meter building, heat exchanger that we had earlier that we placed over here, we want to be able to, what's going on here? You need more concrete, don't you? Yeah, just one more concrete, please. Makes me think, I want to add one more concrete station on this side. Don't worry, I already forgot what I was talking about, so we'll get to that in just a second. Road, thank you. More road, construction office, you fit here. The game will sometimes do this where things just don't fit in the way that they fit before, so... Oh, count is 7. We can't build anymore, we're full. So yeah, that's me problem. What was I saying? Yes, the construction... Oh, for the heat. The heat. The heat thing. Just make sure you stay within that. I will only count residential requirements for buildings because all utilities are a requirement by demand. So if you have more people in the city, you need more stuff, but only if the people are actually in the building that it needs it. So if this one says 10 cubic meters, then it doesn't matter where that person goes, it requires 10 cubic meters of heat for that person. Hope that makes sense. It's the same for power and everything. So when I do my measurements or when I do my math for our utilities, I just use the residential buildings that I'm placing. Here we placed 4. How many residents do we have? Well, would that be? There's 144 per building. Is that right? 146 per building. We built 4 of those, so it's effectively 300 plus 300, 600 to get started with. Now, someone told me that that is enough. I don't know that it's not, and I don't know that it is. It's an experiment, which is part of why I'm doing this live stream. It's an experiment that I want to see, is that enough to get you started. Let's get a couple footpaths in there. Looks good. Get that assigned to someone that cares, and move, please. Actually, we can get this one in there as well, because might as well. Okay. That can go in there. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm leaving a lot of space in a lot of different places for several different reasons, but most of them are, later on we will have to add containers. Container stands for these that need to connect to all the buildings that we care about, and the monument thingy. Now, the monument, honestly, we can probably build the first one. These are stupid expensive, but they're completely required. If I built one here, and this one's one of the only buildings that doesn't tell you what the range is, but if I built one right here, I'm just going to plop it there because I think it's fine. Get the tool for measurement out, turn this one off, get that one on. This is the range of 125. It can only get up to here. So if I want to get all of these buildings covered by that one monument, I need that monument to be a lot closer. Now let's do this again. Measurement from, say, that building to here. Yeah, it just has to be right behind the station over there, which is a little unfortunate, but this is as the crow flies, as they say, so we're just going to place it where it's desired. Put it in front of the entrance, and then we should be able to cover most of these things. I'm not going to put a footpath in there, I'm just going to put that there, so they remember what they have to do. Wonderful. Construction crews, are you doing what you're supposed to do? For now, you are. I'm surprised that this one is not done yet. What do you still need? Mostly concrete. We need a lot more concrete. Can I do something about that? Yes, you can build a real construction office somewhere in this area, and then you have more room to get more concrete trucks out. Okay, we could also get rid of this one bulldozer because we're not doing that much with these anymore, and build a concrete truck. We have also cranes that we could work on. Okay, there are a lot of options, as you can see. Here's another thing. I'm just going to add some priorities to a few buildings, so those things get hopefully done a little faster than other things, and that can help as well. Crew 1, you're on that. Cool. So, they can start doing this, and now we're doing some YouTube magic because I need to get a couple things done here and there, otherwise nothing is going to get done, and that is not good enough. While they're building this, let's plan for a couple more things. Let's get some footpaths in here. And we really only, that's what I heard, we really only need 2 of the residential buildings done to get moving, or to have enough citizens to do something. So we'll see if that is close enough to accurate. And as you can see, it's also turning fall, so things are going to go a little slower very soon. This one, you're not done yet. I think that needs some addressing. Yeah, this one cannot take a mechanism. It requires work, and I believe 25 work days is the cutoff. So if it would have been 26 work days, you could have a bulldozer or something come through here, and they would work. All right, so they come through there. Let's get some, because now we have footpaths already planned. Let's get some of these garbage containers planned, and let's see. If I put you here, ideally I would like to cover the whole area with one garbage stand, or as few garbage stands as possible. And clearly there's nothing better than having you right in front of the footpath there, but that's fine. If I put you here, it's 80 meters to that one. Okay, give me a footpath here, just plan it, don't build it. And we'll see if you can technically reach that, because that will be important. You, right here. I would have to build you closer to here. So, no, the answer is no, you can't reach that from there. You need to do multiple garbage stands, which is fine. Just try to keep them efficient for your needs. So we're just going to plot one here, and then at some point we'll need another one here. But there's also a kindergarten there, and yeah, it's just place these however you feel is right. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just a what do you need. So this one can probably go here. Honestly, we're going to use a bigger stand because these are more industrial complexes, and the hospital will produce hazardous materials, so having a bigger stand with better cover, not better coverage, but with more room may be beneficial. But no, let's go with the little one. That covers everything there, so yeah, we just need another stand right here. In this case, I'll probably just put you close to where the next footpath is going to go. That should make our life a little easier. Awesome. Yeah, these are done. Let's get a couple buildings done. Oh my gosh. B-Ball Joe forgot a big thing. I'm sorry about that. I meant to do that in the very beginning. When you build your buildings, there's this new menu over here, and you have to have a residential building selected for it. Uncheck it, because you want to control when your citizens come in. Very, very, very important. K-South, very much appreciate that. Thank you so much. Love this game, love your videos, keep them coming. I will do my best. Oh my gosh, I'm close to the 2-hour limit here, so we'll see what happens. When you have residential buildings that you already have planned, you can turn them off right here. Just go in there, tell them nope. Also tell them nope, just turning off the allow citizens to move in does not work. Just tell them all nope. And then you will not have to worry about getting citizens. I will also turn off these 2 construction sites because we don't We don't need to get them started before we have citizens here. It's almost winter. We're not going to do anything crazy in winter, but we will try to get some constructions done. For example, this one. The heat for underground, the max length of the heat pipe is 1,000 meters, which is a little awkward, as you can see here, because we don't have enough length. And if that happens, there is a very easy peasy solution, which is in your heating. There is a heating pump station right here. Place that somewhere that's not in the way. It doesn't really matter where it is. It will need power, but we can worry about that later. Place it somewhere that's not in the way. Make sure it's a large heating station, not the small one. Small because the small one only has the 2 squiggles on the connectors. The large one has 3 squiggles on the connectors. That is indicators for small and large heating pipes. You do want the large one. Let's get this one connected to our heating plant. Cool. Sometimes these cause trouble and don't let you connect. It's very annoying, but the only way to fix it is to rebuild it. It's a bug. It's out there. It just has to be connected. That one is through. Cool. Okay, what else do we need? We need, let's see, a couple more things assigned, I think. Let's go over here. That one is already assigned. Are you assigned to the right group? No, I want you assigned to that. These guys, I would like them done. That would be great, and be highest priority. Well, you don't have to be highest priority, you just have to be priority. September 28th. We are getting very close to the time where snow is going to fall, and that's fine. We just have to be prepared for that. And we will be. We'll be totally fine. That can go through there. Okay, what else do we need? We have a monument, we have... well, we have not all utilities. There are a couple utilities that are missing. Do you know which ones they are? It's water and it's power. Water are the smallest ones, so we don't have to worry about them. But power will take up a little bit more room. So let's see what we can do here. Interesting facts. The heating substation will tell you that it can handle 2.5 megawatts. And the largest wire that we have will tell you it can handle 2.35 megawatts. This is the max value that it can handle. How do we know how much we need to handle? Well, go to your residential areas and go down here. Sorry. Go turn the YouTube magic off. Go down here and it will tell you max daily, max wattage circuit breaker, 146 kilowatts. That is 0.14 megawatts. So we can effectively have 10 of these buildings, gives us 14 kilowatts, or 1.4 megawatts. Or 20 of these are about 28, so half of them, so 15 of these residential buildings is what one substation can handle. The substation, the power connection to the city, is the only thing where I say you can go over the max amount, which usually I translate as 150% production versus consumption is usually okay. So if you want to go there, that is fine. Now, if you are too far above the 150, you probably have other problems. But yeah, there you go. 150% for electricity is usually fine. Let's build this somewhere that can actually connect to everything. This one looks okay. No, it's not covering that side. So we're probably just going to get 2 of these. And you know what? I may just place one near that road connection right there. Let's see if we can get one. Yes, I can. That's fine. It's not pretty, but it's sufficient. That will cover all of this. But we don't have anything that covers anything down here yet, so let's get an extra one a little bit off the beaten path and see if we can make this a thing. Let's put this there because I think I want to integrate this border road that we have in one way, shape, or form. So yeah, let's get those 2 there. The supply, the demand, like whatever we can do here should be totally fine. I will add a quick footpath because once I add the road connections, it will be really annoying to add a footpath in here. So get that one there, get this one across here. That looks great. Get me a footpath probably there and a footpath here. Yeah, that's fine. Escape, start construction on all of this, and sure, let's tell our group 1 that these are ready to work on. And yeah, we just need more construction. Should I build another construction office? I think that's what you talked about earlier, and then you get distracted by yourself. Yes, that would happen. Let's build one really quick. Let's build one for 16. These don't take super long to build, they just take enough time, and you do want to have it close enough to 16 too big. Let's remove a couple of these buildings. Yeah, 16 is probably fine. Flip you can be part of this. That's fine. This may still get deconstructed later on, but we're just gonna do it. Let's set you to high priority, and then they can figure out what they need to do. Cool. That looks good. Let's get sped up again a little bit. Power lines. Yes. Power. There we go. We want this to be somewhat attractive and somewhat functional. You can go underground with these power lines. Totally up to you. The underground power lines are just a little weaker. They don't carry as much current as these guys do. So if you wanna go that route, go for it. Totally, absolutely. No harm, no foul. As they say in basketball. It's b-ball, Joe. It's basketball related. Get that one in there, and then here's the thing that I do. You can like it or not. You can run them like this. Ew. Let's get them to the same distance first. You can run them like this, but then it's literally dragging a wire on the ground because it doesn't place them all the time. So I sadly have to place these one by one. If you have grids enabled, you will not be able to place two pylons exactly on the same location, but I don't have grids on. How do you get grids on? You press this button down here twice. Wireframe, one, and now you have a wireframe of magnets, and you have these grids. Sometimes they're cool, sometimes they're not. I'm just not playing with them right now. But if you want to build cities that are completely gridded, that is what you need. Okay, get you here, get you here, get you here. Do you see how we don't even have what's it called? We don't even have, yes, industry plant yet. Yes, I see that. Okay, wonderful. Okay, go here. Let's see. All of this needs to get done. I would like to get the underground pipes done at a different time. Click the wrong button there. Sorry about that. Let's see. Underground pipes. Yes, you need a lot of stuff. Let's turn you off for now because we're not going to need heat before the winter is here because it's too expensive. Those have to get done. We do need power done, so let's get that one. Wrong one. Did I switch this one over? Yeah, I messed this one up. So let's get you out of here. Get you in there. There's a keyboard shortcut, which I'm not 100% sure which one that is. That lets you switch the assignments. But here we are. So get those all assigned here. I don't want the bus crane one on that one. That's fine. Those are good. Bus crane, I do want you here, but you're probably going to get there eventually. We have those buildings that I need to get built. That's all good. And now we're going to need some technical services. Okay, easy enough. Let's build some. Let's go here. Because it's snowing, we need technical services. That's the logic there in my mind. Get a free one. Put that one not too far away from everything. Put one here. It's just a free one. Put it there. Sure. Get a couple snowplows. Where are you? 1, 2, 3. Cool. And then tell it a little more. I want you to do 3,000 meters. I don't want you to work on mud roads at all if you can avoid it. And there you go. And we probably should put another one up here. Again, it's just temporary, and we will need more technical service offices in just a minute. That's the wrong one, buddy. Okay, technical service office. Nope, that's the big one. Little one. There you go. We'll place it down here. This is just a big service road at this point, and that's fine. Get me same settings, no mud roads, and a couple snow plows, please. They do speed up winter progression quite a bit, so that's what you want. But this all has to get built. The only things that we have left is water and sewage, and we're gonna go super cheap because you could go and build the whole water treatment plant and everything else at this point, but you can handle populations up to 2,000 citizens without them. So we can just build our own water substation setup right now, and life will be just fine if we just deliver them with trucks from the technical service office. So that's what we're doing here. I'm going to try to lay these out a little bit so that we can mess with them later on. Doesn't have to be perfect, but there you go. And don't take up enough space or a lot of space. Get those assigned to everything. They may need workers, and then yeah, we're just going to speed this up. Because now you could get into piping and all those other things, but as you already saw, getting pipes out to Just those construction places that sorry, not pipes, but building pipes takes a lot of concrete, and getting a lot of concrete in a lot of places is not that easy. So instead we're doing this. I think we are actually in a state where everything is kind of rolling. We need these things done. Let's triple check that there's not something significantly missing. Doesn't look like it there. Construction offices have too much assigned. This is the problem, which these are just the excavators over here. They're not the most important ones in what I'm looking at there. I want to see what these guys have assigned. Just a bunch of footpaths and a couple other things. So what we're going to do is play the priority game. Just get a few constructions at the time with high priorities, and then we'll just run this forward. Let's go to you. You want the bus crane on that gravel road to substation. It's 23 work days. Yeah, I'm sure. Water and sewage substation. Yes, caffeine encrypted. Off-topic question, but why don't you go for asphalt now while everything is cheaper? Because it takes longer. Then I would like to get started, and that's really all. Yes, you can do asphalt, but that will not... we're almost at 2 hours playtime. We're at 1 hour 50 minutes now. Let's see if we can get some residents in here. Maybe I can even get the first industry going. That would be super cool, because we haven't taken out a loan yet, which is impressive for myself. Let's see what else. It's summer, yay! Which means our guys are not important anymore. And they got a couple things done. Let's get a couple more things done just to run them through this. And while they're doing this, should we assign a couple more things? Yes, we should. Let's go here. You're already assigned there. Monument is important. These guys are important. You're already on it. You're fine. Okay. Yeah, you go there. You go there. Should be okay. Just need to make sure that the items that are high priority hopefully get completed reasonably fast, and then we can move on. You removed the bus crew from it? I did? Earlier? Or still? Let's see here. 9-2 is a bus crew. Assign construction mode. It looks like 23 workdays. I know that this is what you're talking about. I think we're okay, right? I think we're okay now. Once the power lines are done, there's, I guess, another thing that we could plan on. But right now, okay, let's continue them doing what they're doing. There's something else that we need, and we can start planning our industries right now a little bit. A couple things that we're going to do. The first one, and I'm going to try to keep an eye on this, and I'm going to be terrible at it. The first one is we can build a supplementary connection for where our industries is going to go. And we want this just because it will help us with traffic. So this is where everything joins. And it wouldn't be awful to have industries in this sector. That would be very easy, actually, because then we can put a bus stop here that can supply for the heating plant as well as everything else. But, and this is the big but, which is what I'm trying to point out, we need a place to receive food for the city, like other things for the city. That's food, clothing, electronics, because once our customs house bogs down at some point, which it will, I promise you, we need to make sure that we can address or adjust for that. And that's the thing that's really important here. So I would like to have a place like a warehouse where we have a big enough buffer that can survive a customs house issue like that. So let's build that or plan that, because that's also our first industry that we need to get into. What do we have here? There are a couple warehouses. Okay, they have different sizes. This is the original one, 520 tons of crops. Okay, I will tell you, go for the big one. Why? Because it allows you to handle a lot of crops. And the industry that you build first is most likely, not guaranteed, but most likely going to be related to crops, and which is why we are building in this area where we are right now. I'm going to give myself a little bit of room, just like that, because I would like to use all of this space for a farm. I know, this may be a surprise for some of you, but that's what I want to do. Get a farm. Get a large farm, because you want to handle all vehicles and all crops and everything else in between in that one farm, and it's a lot easier with this. Looks like they added the pipe connection. Wonderful. The large farm, well, the large farm is probably too big, potentially. The medium farm may be fine, and you are saving almost half the materials, so that's cool. Let's get you here. The the fertilizer tank is on that side, so I'm going to keep you on that angle. But yeah, I want you right here. And this is going to give you a starting point of your grain storage. This may not be the perfect grain storage. That's totally fine. Should I move you around a little bit to make that a little more apparent? Let's see. If you do more grain storage, you would go with one of the bigger ones, like this one. Could you... Okay, it's a pipe connection, so technically this could connect here, but... yeah, what's that one? It could connect exactly there. Should you do this? We're going to plan this, but we're not going to build it. I'm going to use that batch unassigned stuff. Just for now, because you could park a truck here and then it moves the material from A to B. Talked about it a lot. It's not my favorite, but it's an option. So now we have a farm set up here, and this farm can just go out. How many mechanisms are on that farm? Because I don't know. Stop thinking about that. There's a farm, and you can make this a big farm if you want to. It's totally fine. And it will get us all everything that we need. Oh, the truck trick is a lot easier, and someone on Discord pointed out because you now have one-way factory connections, which is cool. How's it going over here? Construction offices. Yes, let's get one of you. Well, let's just look here. You're not doing anything. I had a feeling. Bus. You're not assigned to anything. Yeah. And that's what you were pointing out earlier. Thank you. Bus crane. Go. Go. Do all the things, please. Don't do the underground one, but do everything else, please, and thank you. How's that one on? Oh, I can't get to it yet. You guys are all good here. Yeah, that's slowing me down just a little bit, but that's a-okay. How are you? Whatever. It is what it is. We'll get it done. Are you all moving? Nope. One bus is moving. Okay. That's the wrong button. Yes. This one. There's stuff assigned to you, so you should be able to go out there. There's another trash here. Yeah, I think we'll be fine. Would like this one done and this one done before we call this one all happy. Okay, so there's our setup. There's a farm feeding grain straight into this thing, and that's where we want all our stuff. We want to mostly store grain here, but a couple other things as well. And here's the kicker: you can do this with rail as well as trucks, because the trucks will be just fine in the beginning. So, let's see. What can we set up for rail? Let's get me a quick cargo station that we just want to squeeze in here so we don't forget. And it can be a terminal station, which makes this a lot easier. How many platforms do we need? 4? Most likely is too much. I do want a long one, something like this. And yeah, this should be fine. This should be totally adequate. It's right next to the... we can also probably go here. This is an option. I don't know if it's good, but it's an option. Let's plop that there so we don't forget. Get you in here. Sometimes the connection doesn't want to work that way. And then everything is connected in a way that we can actually use. We're still going to unassign this because I don't know when I want to use this. But this gives you the option to connect to this rail connection if you absolutely have to at some point. It's not perfect, not by any means, but it's an option because you can also run the normal rail out here, build a rail yard in here, and then connect into that thing if you want to do that. But now we have that option. The other option that we need is an actual road cargo connection, which I'm going to place on the other end. I'm going to make a really long road connection. I'm actually going to flip you because I want that road connection to be somewhat close to this. And we do have an option, and we're just going to consider that option. I don't know if I'm going to take it, to put another road cargo station here and get the factory connect. Come on. Come on. It's literally like next door, and it should be just fine. There. Okay. And we're going to get rid of that. So having 2 here, which could give us like one is an in, one is an out, one is a city, one is a industry, like whatever you want to do here, totally up to you. But you have it now. And that's a plan. I'm already happy with what we have here, so we're going to get this road connected in there. I would like some road connection here, but I also want to build something over there. Okay. Planning wise, you can do food and alcohol and everything in this industry, but I would say start with the simple one: fabric and clothing. Clothing will be a little better start for you to get started on. So how about we plop that down here? then because we have to plan, and this clothing honestly is probably going to be the standard start for this type of playthrough. Clothing there, fabric here, another clothing one there, because one fabric factory, oh math, fabric factory, maximum production per workday 5 tons of fabric. Clothing factory, maximum consumption of fabric 2.4 tons, 2 to 1. That's all that is, and it's just I've just done this recently, so I still remember that this is the thing. Plop you in here, that looks good. They don't have to be connected at all. There's absolutely no reason why they have to be connected. And looking at all of this now, I think this one has to be flipped around, because I would actually like this to be connected to the grain storage there and to the grain storage here, which means the road connection, I don't know if you saw that, that's here, is kind of in the way. So, little trick, left control and bulldozer click will remove this without the confirmation dialog. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. I'll let you decide, but let's go back to our warehouse. I want the big one again. All I want is for you to point on the other direction and give me all the connections that we had before. Something like this seems right. Let's plop that in there. And then we're going to do one factory connection here before we forget it. Very good. This one is just a little angled, cankled. Don't like it. Let's make that this connection, because the other one is for this factory connection. So we can store less grain in here. Isn't that nice? Yes, it is. So let's go there. Are you guys building everything that I want you to build? Are you done yet? Construction office, bus crane, you have a lot of stuff going on. Let's give you some priority so you actually get it done. 2 hours or less. we just have reached that point. It's not 2 hours or less. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to lie. Was just too optimistic. Let's move on. Miscellaneous here. Fabric factory, clothing factory. Fabric will go over here. We're just going to steal this spot because it's the best spot for this industry. Which is annoying because the silo has a one-way in and only there, which is unfortunate. Can I move the silo around in a way that I like it? Or is that what we want to do? Grain silo. Okay, how do we have it? It's like this. If I press T, what does it look like? It gives me those two as ins, and that one is out. Perfect. So when it flips it, it also flips the one-way connections to the other thing, which is not bad. T again, like so. Yes. Yes, that's perfect, because now I have all the connections that I actually needed here. Right there is good. There should be no problem. We can check that to have a liquid connection here. And as you can see, there was also an underground pipe. I don't know if you saw that, but that should be good. Is my chat doing what it's supposed to do? I think it is. Yes. I never know. Every once in a while, my chat just has a mind of its own and just stops doing the thing. But I hope y'all are still with me. So, fabric factory. That's the one that we're planning on. Okay. Now we can block that thing. Wonderful. Give a little bit of room for the water connections, but this should be fine. And now, yeah, as long as we have this connection, there should be no problem here. Fabric, done. Awesome. Wonderful. Cool. Could we have turned that around a little better? Does it matter? Yes, I want the road connection to go north, not to the side. Like that. Something like this, as long as the factory connection is there. Cool. That's fine. That works. That's all we needed for this thing. And now give me 2 clothing factories that we can start on. I want you both to point that direction. Honestly, don't care which factory connection you get in here. This is fine. And this one, we're just going to flip you around to make you look like you're one complex system. That's fine. You can make this pretty or as ugly as you want. I will not judge you. Let's do this to make them look just a little bit symmetric. Nothing is on a straight line, but I am totally okay with that. That's all set up. That's all ready to go. Cool. How's this going? Construction office, bus crane. What are your things? So you have those to do and dumper dozer. You don't have that many more things to do. I'm actually excited about that. Let's get this sped up just a little bit because there's a chance we can get things rolling. We do need water and sewage for the industries. We need more water for this guy, so keep that in mind when we build the next stuff. Let's get a bus stop in here. The bus stop is there to service all the industries right here, which in this case are fabric, clothing, and heating plant, which is great. Should reduce the driving distance here or what? I don't know. You can also do a one-way bus stop, like this one. Yeah, this is fine. flip you around. Slow down. Flip you around like so. You can come in like this, and then we can have separate road connections for everything else. Don't hate it. I don't really want you to be on that close to the heating plant though, so if we do that, I guess we do this. Yeah, sure, this is fine. Okay, that one can go there. Let's get me a road connection through here. And sorry, this is, at this point, I am honestly just trying to hurry up a little bit because there is no big reason why this has to take any longer than it has already. We have that one here. Great. Get me some electric substation to get these things to get these things some power. Right here is good. I would like to have power for everything, so we're just gonna put it down here. Get me some of these medium voltage wires. I like to run them close to the road. I don't like to do much else that's more realistic, let's call it that. This is a game. But I think this is one of the things that most of us can actually do and say, yeah, that's realistic. Keep it close to the road. That's where the wires are. That looks fine. Looks like we have something done over here. So number 2, what are you working on? All of these? Not the pipe. The pipe can be our first rear construction. That's fine. 9-1. Just get all of this moving, and then we are pretty close. No power. No one lives here. That's fine. This thing is getting close. Oh, there's a road connection now on this side. Gotta remember that. Don't want to take up too much space here, so we're just going to make this road connection because it's really just for construction purposes. Part of this. F4 to turn off snapping temporarily. Sometimes that's helpful. And shift lets you get a little closer to the roads. That looks adequate and usable. So that should be fine. I would like a footpath here. Here's the thing, you cannot build this footpath. It's annoying, but you cannot build it because there's no road connection to it. You can just place a dirt footpath and then everyone will be happy, and if we ever have to upgrade this, we will. But this is more than sufficient for everything that we have to do right now. Construction office, you please get this one done. Okay, number 1, get this one, get this one. Workers, get these done and assigned. We don't have any asphalt working equipment, so that's slowed down a little bit, and looks like this guy is done. Alright, I could have probably used that a while ago, but then I didn't. So here we are. Bus crane, what is your priority? You don't have priorities. Got it. Give me a few of those and then see what our bottleneck is. Workers, which is generally what your bottleneck will be. Workers here, workers there, workers here. Make that high priority because I would like the power to come in. That's already high priority. Cool, just 8 workdays needed. And yeah, there's 12 workers available there. Okay, let's do something a little more drastic. Get you another bus, just 1. Assign you to here, and then you can start not working on roads or footpaths, but everything else. Just start bringing more workers around, and we're actually going to get a couple more because this should speed us up now. 1, 2, 3. They're nice and cheap because this does refill. Just it's hard to predict how fast it refills, but this should be fine for what we're doing right now. I just want enough stuff to get constructed here. Assign construction office, this one. That's our auxiliary bus construction group. Yeah, that looks great. You're doing your thing? Cool. I would like this one to already have been done by now. If a bulldozer would have done this, it probably would have been. But can't have everything all the time. Construction office, yes. Well, this is just a sprint now. Just a sprint. So we'll see how this goes. Call for heating station and resource for shipping center. Yeah, the resource for shipping center is the thing, and you're right. We cannot set up a distribution office just yet. We have to wait a little bit because can't have that. What do we do here? 76 tons of concrete. Honestly, there's no good reason why I can't just get a couple more concrete mixers in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just for fun. And then let's get our concrete assigned because we need to. There you go. This will cause some issues with traffic here. As you can see, it's already kind of backing up there, but it's okay. It's not the end of the world, and we will be just fine. Hey, you're done. There's part of me, or part of you, that probably says you should just get a couple buses that bring workers here just so you're covered, but nah, we'll be fine. That looks good. Once these two buildings are done, we are pretty much ready to go. Minus, let's see here, water is there? Yep, those are all there. Okay, let's get a technical service office. That's not this one. We need a different one. Technical service. How many do we still have available? Oh, still a bunch. Okay, that's good. Let's put you... Should we put you here? Yes. This one is going to be for water and sewage. Okay. Water truck. So we do more of one or more of the other? I don't know. Water and sewage. You're only going to cover this area. That's fine. And bring everything here. Cool. That works. That's the first one. Second technical service office, which is why you could have just built a big one in the first place. It's not that one. Why am I so bad at finding the one that I want? Technical service office. This one is going to be for trash. And we have trash containers here, which we can start separating, but the public buildings are not very good at separating, and I think all we're going to get out of here is hazardous waste and bio-waste. The rest is just going to be mixed waste from these buildings, which is fine. Maybe one... Well, this is fine. We're going to get that out of it. But then we also have these buildings, which are different containers, and they're not going to separate this until you research. And we're not researching it yet. I don't know if you knew that. But we need a different type of truck for that one. So, this is the one for the big containers. And this is the one for the little containers. Very simple. Very straightforward, really. You don't have container access, or you don't have trash access, but I hope that's okay for... It's not okay. No. Give you a container. Come on. The big one? Yeah, sure. It's industrial. It can have a big container access. And here you can see sometimes it just gets really hard to get good road connections or good connectivity because of the way those pylons are placed on the road sometimes. That's okay though. Get all of those here. How are we doing over on this side? We are doing okay. We can do a couple more road pieces. You can just be a dirt road. You don't have to build all of this. I just want to make sure that we can build all of it if we wanted to. Make you just a 90-degree one. That's fine. These are all okay. We don't need that one yet. Sure. Get all of those built and then unassign construction on the things that we don't need. None of those need to get done. That's cool. None of these need to get done. You don't. You don't. You don't. You don't. Really? I cannot tell you to not get constructed. That's fine. You don't. And that's it. What do we still need here? We just need some asphalt and some rollers, and we can get those. So let's speed that up. Give me a roller. Just one. Should be fine. And then give me a paver. Also just one. Cool. Oh boy, and they're waiting at the customs house now, which is kind of expected, but I need this one to fill up, I need this thing to get done, and once we have those, we are poised to be ready for the next step, and I'm excited for that. Yes, yes, construction offices, get on that. You're doing great. Footpath is there. Okay, distribution offices. Our next thing, once this is done, to get you higher priority. Talk to our construction offices. There are just a couple things with high priorities, which is really, really nice. You're all done. This one is close. Get that to number 2, already kind of assigned. That's nice. Let's close all of this. You need at least one bus. And oh, we can talk about staffing. This one, we're just a small city right now. Minimum staffing is fine. You can change this to more custom numbers if you want to. This one, same thing. We don't need that many workers. Let's start with 10 because we're going to just have a few people coming in. Same thing here. Keep the numbers really low because you need them to actually do the things that you want them to do. You can be a 2, I think. You can be a 5. We're just going to start at a number, and if that number turns out to be wrong, we can adjust it later on. But you want to make sure that you set all these things to what they need to be. You don't have power and no one lives here. Okay, that's fine. How do we get power? Power you get from down here. You are connected now, but you haven't told it what to do. So, import mode is on, but max amount of energy to purchase is set to 0 megawatt. We don't want that. Turn that up. We shouldn't have a lot of power being consumed yet, but that is fine. How are you doing? Can you just get done, please? Because this is like the last thing that I need done, and then the second year is over, and I am very, very, very excited. Gotta check something again. Okay. I haven't had the message that my 2 hours are up, so we're still here. Okay, you guys are right across the fuel station. You don't need extra fuel protection for you. You look fine, but you are not... I haven't told you where you can drop off all your stuff yet. We can do that there, but I will also tell you it is much more helpful if you get a transfer station situated somewhere between your city and other things. It's just a temporary stop for the waste, so that these trucks don't have to drive super far and can keep the city empty, and you can just pick up from here with a single truck with a large dumper to get rid of your waste at the customs house. But you have to set them up first, which is what we're doing. So this looks good, this looks good, this looks good. I feel like we're very close to having citizens. Yeah, there's just a little bit more, and obviously these are part of that. All right. Let's set up the next group of things, and I think I want a piece of road across here. It's quickly built, so I'm happy to throw that in there, and get some more distribution offices set up. We need distribution offices for what precisely? Where do I want them? I want them here? Yeah, sure. Where do I want them? No, what I want them for? Should I put them here or should I put them here? It doesn't matter. We need meat. City demand. This is for city demand. And then what else do we need? We need one for transporting trash from over here. Sure. We can get that in there. That's fine. And that may be it. Because the rest can be done by a road depot. And I'm sorry, I don't think I am giving you full explanations on everything, on why everything. I think I tried that for most of the time, but right now there are a couple more things that I want to do just a little different. That heat pump loses heat, and how much of it? Almost nothing. Okay, what do we want here? I want a dumper. Just one big dumper, because that's the dumper that's going to bring coal over here. We also need some buses to be able to move our citizens around, and these buses can also be the smaller one for right now. Sure. 1, 2, 3. Could I not click that button? Was it full? On the wrong building? Am I here? 1, 2, 3. Sure. 3 buses. And then there's one thing which I forgot. Nice quality of life improvement. I don't have any... I don't have any end station. That's a party foul. You don't need it, but it makes your life just a little easier. So we're going to add one in range of a power node, which I guess there's one here which we could use. We could also put one near the city. It doesn't exactly matter where you get the end station, but the end station gives you the ability to... where is it? This is with the depot, right? Yeah. The end station gives you the ability to refuel with your stuff. So there's parking spots for vehicle 4. Here it's 7. 7 is a little better, but we're not going to have that many workers here. There's another thing to consider. This is too far out of the way. There's a power station. Yes. Over here may be the better option because, and this is silly, and I don't think I planned this as good as I could have or should have. At some point you need to worry about repairs. Repairing your vehicles, on all of them. And the best way to do that is to get a vehicle repair station really close to these buildings, because you see the orange stuff that's highlighted? That is an indicator of the building can repair anything that's inside those buildings. So plopping that here is a really good choice. And if you want, you can put your rail construction or rail stuff connected things also on this side. Now this one, granted, it's really just thrown in, is necessary in year 5. You have to have it, because then things will go really wrong if you don't. So hope you get that constructed relatively soon. It is September again. It will be, gosh, it'll probably be winter, past winter before I invite citizens, because we're still not done with this. What do you need? You just still need more workers. Okay, just get it done. I believe in you. Anything else going on over here? Bigger CO? Yes. Will this be a video later? Yes, it will be a video, and honestly, it's gone a lot better than I expected. We even have the big rare construction builder available already, which is cool. It's gone a lot better than most of my tests. I haven't forgot huge things. As you just saw, I did forget the end station and the repairing and all those things, which is a little unfortunate, but I think we are in an okay state. Do I need to pause this? No, we do want to get through winter here relatively soon. Construction, what do we have going on? Okay, nothing here. That's great. Let's get our construction offices on the last things that I actually want them to get completed. Cool, that's all done. Those we don't need yet. And then let's get some materials in here. Alright, limit the amount. The main thing that you will want to store here is crops. We will need chemicals at some point. We will need alcohol at some point. We need a lot of food. We need clothes, electronic components, mechanical components. I'm going to leave them out of here. Definitely no plastic. Electronics, at some point you need them. Explosives, no. So 500 tons for this is not great, but it's okay. 200 tons for food is good. 25 tons for clothes is good. Okay. Construction office, can you just get started on this one? Because we can now, and that's fine. Alright, get you assigned. You will be my coal transporter. I want you to wait until loaded and pick up coal, bring it here, wait until unloaded. One truck should be enough. If not, we have 3 parking spots there that we can just increase that on demand. It may take a little while in the beginning, and we're actually going to use one of these guys to help you. I'm going to move you over there. Assign our stop, and then you don't even go there. We just have 2 trucks dropping off coal. Done. Very nice. What else do we need? We need stuff delivered here. Okay, we need covered holes and refrigerators. Please and thank you. Really? You haven't figured out that I wanted you to build this? It's just a temporary road. Demolish that. Nothing was built yet. Get me a dirt road connection. Cool. And now we can stay 2 covered and a refrigerator, please. Refrigerator, cool. And then once they are here, we can assign all the things. Get stuff from the customs house, very simple. Then bring stuff first to here. Is that smart? No, it's not smart. We need 2 of these. I need you to bring just the meat here until you're at least 60% full. That's fine. And you just pick that up from there. I want you to bring the rest over here, unload, and I only want you to be responsible for clothing, food, and electronics. We don't need electronics yet, but that's all I want you to deliver for now, because that is the city or the city import. We can change it later on as we need it, as vehicles are not in high demand. You, I'm going to put you right here, super close to this distribution, to this hub, and tell you, give me 2 covered holes, and this will be what I use to deliver stuff to the city that I need right away. What do we need right away? Everything that this guy needs. That's all we want, but we need all of it. And before I start delivering that, let's change the values here a little bit. We will always need the most food. 2 full trucks is probably fine. We will always need the least amount of electronics. 1 truck can handle how much? Can handle 6.5 tons of food. So we have 3 full trucks of food that fit in there. Clothing-wise, we have 1 full truck of clothing that fits in here, and then electronics. If we really want to be specific, we are just a little off. Make this like a 12% or something. 14, maybe. 3.57, that's fine. We will never need that much, hopefully, so we will just see how that goes. Cool, that's assigned. Let's tell you that your resource comes from here. Load anything that you want and bring it to the shopping center to at least be 70%, well, no, 30% full, because we just saw that we generally have just 1 truck. Well, 1 truck is for electronics, but everything else you can fit more than 1 truck in, so 50% is probably more than enough for storage. So they can start running around there. This looks good. We have some food there. The end station is probably almost done. What do you need? You just need some work. Okay, where are my buses? And once that is done, we will actually reassign the bus construction offices to up here, which I suppose is the next thing that we could build. Should we build one? Sure. Let's build a small one right here. It's snowing. It's a terrible time to start inviting your citizens because your heating plant is not going to run right away. But that's fine. Should we really put one here? I need to put our buses somewhere. I think this is fine. I'm just putting it close to where we're going to repair stuff from. Yeah, this is okay. But we're not going to invite people because it is winter and it's stupid to do that right now. All right, looks like you are done, which is great news. Let's see here. Can I push my buttons? Yes, I can. You can receive fuel, which is important because now we can tell our distribution office that's responsible for fuel to go out here and pick up or drop our fuel so our buses can actually do the thing that we want them to do. Wonderful. Here's another distribution office that needs something. We will tell you to get 2 waste trucks, and then you can be responsible for bringing all our waste from the city, doesn't matter what percentages, to the customs house. Just get rid of it. This is just so that the technical service office can keep the trash out of our city and move it to the border so we don't get sick. That's really the main thing here. Tell our construction office 1 that I'm actually okay if you want to finish this. Can you finish this? No, you can't because there's another thing there. Why can't you? What do you do? Oh, you think there's a deconstruction going on over there. No. Cancel demo. There you go. And then construction office 1. Yeah, just do this. Just get it done. Looks like we have clothing done as well. Wow. We are not close to the 2 hours, but we are closer to 2 hours if we're honest, right? Trash trucks from cities delivered to border. You are correct. Thank you very much, Lego. Let's go to you. Trash trucks, your new assignment is bring everything over here. Thank you. Very simple, right? You just have to click the right buttons and know when you have to click it. Did this just... Apparently you're pushing some clothes here if you deliver it there, which also makes me think maybe I don't want you to deliver to the warehouse. Instead, I want you to deliver to the cargo station that's connected to it, just for the time being, because I don't need you to push anything into the warehouse, honestly. There you go. Oh, I didn't tell you what not to deliver. Oopsies. I just want you to do food and clothing for now. Yep, thank you. If it picked up something else, that's fine. But we have everything we want here. We even have some alcohol there. Wonderful. But that's fine. Yeah, we're just gonna wait until February 20th, and then we can invite some citizens. I will set up the buses just then as well, and we should be really good to go. Oh boy. These trucks are amazing. The one that just showed up, that's an amazing truck that you should get right very early on for everything, really. This is going to be bus crane, honestly. Let's move all of these guys over to that office, just for the time being. You'll do just fine. We have a couple extra buses sitting here. Sure, let's get the small buses all over there as well. I should have thought about that before I move these things around, but you go there, you go there, you can't go there. Because you're full. Okay. With that in mind, you will get a new worker assignment, which is workers now come from the city. It's a really long trip, so I honestly kind of just don't want you to do that. Just don't worry about it. We have buses sitting here. They can figure it out from there. 31. January 31. We have coal here. Perfect. We have this here. Perfect. We could start importing some crops, but we're not quite... Well, we are there yet. There's nothing that really says that we can't. Alright, you're right. It's fine. Everything's fine. 530,000. We are doing awkwardly good. Yeah, I just need to get to February 20th, so the snow goes away and it's a little warmer, and once it's a little warmer, I feel a little better about turning all of this on. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Warm enough. If you don't know how warm it is, it's 6 degrees right now. Okay. Here goes everything. Temperature in building is too low. Yep, I get that. Okay, let's get the bus rolling. We could also just run forward a little bit, but no. If we get the bus rolling for moving citizens from here to here, and then on the way back, just stop at the end station so we can get some spacing going. That should be good. Get that assigned to this one and this one. That's also good. I think if you hold control, they will just start moving, which is neat. That looks good. Those can get spaced out. That's also fine. And then, yeah, people shouldn't be annoyed about having bad temperatures or something right away. It's just going to take a little while to get them unhappy. Okay. Triple checking everything here. I think we're good on really everything. We don't have electronics sitting there yet. I may add those, but we just have to add them to the imports and then this will all happen. Okay, let's get them going. This will be, I haven't saved in a long time, live stream get citizens. Because I recommend this to you. You may have something that you forgot, and this will save you from going too far back. Fill you up. There you go. Great. Fill you up as well, and we'll see what happens. I'm not going to get any NATO people yet because we need all the space that we have. We could turn off the allowance here, but I'm not going to do that at this point. So everyone going everywhere. There's at least one person going in there. We probably don't have a lot of doctors, which may be a small mistake that I made, but that's okay. We don't need doctors and professionals right away. We just need some. This can be 3 workers. This can be 2. And I don't know. There's some sport. This is 2. Okay. Haven't seen any visitors yet. That's a little concerning, but that's fine. You want to look at what's missing. What are they complaining about right away? So far, nothing. We have workers waiting here, which is awesome. We have students here. Not enough staff. Let's change this up to 10. Wrong button. 10. And then this, we don't want people in the schoolyard. We want just people in the classroom. That's what you want to look for there. That looks fine. We have temperature in buildings too low. That is okay. We don't have a footpath on this side yet. That's what we can just add here. So they are running. And technically, this should be the first bus that has workers that brings people down here, which hopefully just go to the heating plant for right now. And I will say I prefer managing my workers like this. Keep them high where you need them and set them to the lower numbers where you don't, because now when you start adding more constructions here, you don't have to manually do the percentages. But it's totally up to you how you want to do that, and there's nothing wrong with how you want to do it. You are reaching most things, not everything, so putting another monument here may not be a bad idea. The more monuments they have, well, they just really want a monument in range at all times, and then they are relatively happy. Construction Office 2 is currently not assigned these guys, so we can get them. Get you going, because I think that's a relatively short piece of, short path. That's fine. You can go there. And is this one turned on again? Yeah, it's turned on again. I didn't mean to. Just need steel at this point, I guess. Okay, let's assign that to group 1, and then you can get that one done. Alright. I think it's working, and we can turn on some clothing factory, because I don't see a real reason why nothing is working right now. Alright, let's get some imports going, and we're going to use a separate distribution office for that, or should we use this one? They're not doing anything right now, which makes me think we are probably okay to say you can bring crops out here, and I want you to load clothes to export here. Like that. However, I only want you to get clothes if there's enough clothing available for the city. So we're going to set that to some percentage, and as long as that is how much is stored here in the clothing set, so 20% of this is probably not good enough. Make this maybe 8%. Yeah, that makes me feel a little better. If there's 20% of clothes sitting here, it's just always available for the city, and it's not going to start exporting before then. So, crops? Yes. Very good. You guys can start work in just about a minute, but you don't have water yet. I was so close. I was so close. You do require water. So, let's throw a substation in here. Let's throw a sewage tank in here. And probably should get a new technical service office for you guys assigned in the same area. That's 4 or 5. That's fine. Get me more sewage and water. Get your stuff from the border. And then life should be okay. Well, you didn't build the pipes. Oh yeah, they don't get heat. You're right. I did not think about that, but it should be fine. They can figure it out from here on. How are we doing? 80% happiness, 85% health. Great. We have 400 people. We only invited effectively 300, like 150 each. But we have 400 people because it counts children and all that stuff as well. But we don't have unemployed workers. That is good and bad. It just means that it's going to be very paramount to get the next stage right. Let's get this assigned and this assigned because we want to get to the next building. And yeah, we can start making money now. So I didn't do 2 hours, but I did 2 hours and 30 minutes. Not terrible, honestly. We're operating without issues, that's fine. I do need these to get done ASAP, so let's get you higher priority. Like so and like so, and then these will work. Because I think actually the technical service office over here is currently parked. I would like it to not go past the city, but it does anyway, so it probably delivered some water out here, which is fine. Are you in range? Are you two in range of the heating plant? Because if you're not, we have a problem. No, you're fine. So this is good. Future considerations. What is next? You're right. Thank you. Thank you, Camilgo. I messed that up. I'm importing crops right now, but what I really need is fabric because we're not producing our own yet. So, and this is why I'm always saying, if you can leave the load alone, you don't have to click buttons multiple times, but you can determine what you want to unload and load like this. Looks like we have some fabric here. I don't know, I don't remember how that got here. Probably there was something happening in between where that was allowed. So here you go. To increase the number of workers here because we probably can. Our buses are fine. Our excavators are driving around doing their thing. Beautiful. These roads. Can you? Why are you not done yet? How much do you have to do? A lot. All right. Get them done. I think I did it. Happiness is okay. These numbers are the ones that you have to look for. Right now, we don't have any room for more people, and we will have an increase in population very soon. Okay. The increase in population is going to be the thing that it matters, but they only come in waves. Like sometimes you will have a lot of people and sometimes you won't. So just make sure that you make that a priority when you need it. Looks like those people are fine. Temperature in building is too low, but we are in April, so temperature is warming up and people should be okay with that longer. Government loyalty will be low for a while, and once government loyalty is really low, it will take away a little buffer for happiness, so be aware of that. Can this one be done yet? Also high priority, I guess. Alright, I think I have to priority manage my people here a little bit, because you're not doing anything, that's not very helpful. Heating pipeline, okay, footpaths. Why are you not getting the footpaths done? Oh, we don't have workers sitting here. Okay, that's a very different problem that I have to solve with this, because yeah, we don't have workers available to do the work that we want them to work on. Which is a problem. So let's use some foreign workers to get that work done. Otherwise, it's not going to get done. And yes, happiness is 74%. That is something you should expect. Right now, there is no alcohol available. Okay. Unable to get clothes. That's not okay. They should be able to get them here. So that's a funny issue. You're not in walking range of that thing yet, but you're in walking range of the bus station. They should be okay, but I guess if they really insist on having another walking path, then I can give them that. That's fine. Construct that. Yes. Can you get this one done? What's the temperature? 18. Yeah, it's sometimes without heat. So spirituality, pub, tavern, electronics, food, meat, and culture. Sport is taken. Good. This one is also being done, but is it that if temperature is too low, that they can't do the stuff either? It's very possible. I don't fully remember that, but this city should be fine in just a few moments once those heating pipelines are done. And if you click on here, you can actually see the temperature, so they should be good. You're building those footpaths. That's great. How about we start building this thing, at least from the groundworks, and don't allow any workers. That's not the number. This is the number. There you go. Don't allow any workers to come in from walking distance, and that should be okay. That one looks good. 73 happiness, that's okay. We haven't really lost people yet. Electronics, okay, that we can help. And if you're really worried about your happiness right now, this is a good time to start building a pub. Just here. It has to be somewhere in walking distance from someone. I guess over here is not a bad place to be, but then you're not going to place anything else past it. But yeah, there are options now. You can place this wherever you want. This will probably not be a bad one either. And that will help your happiness tolerance for a while. We're just going to place it there because I think we want that, because our happiness is going down a little faster than I want to. But you're in the 70s. That's fine. What else do I need? You are not assigned to this one? No, you are assigned to that one. Okay. Bus office, what's your priorities? You have these things. Heating pipelines. Yes, get the pipelines done. That'll make me happy. And then, are you producing something yet? You are operating without issues, but... what are you producing? You're still importing clothes right now. I don't see you actually producing anything. What are you producing? Oh, we don't have trash yet either. Okay, well, that's just another thing of things that I like to forget. Let's put trash access for all the things anywhere that you need it, like right here. Because it is so new that it's not a reflex yet for me to say, oh yeah, we need all of that. Why did I assign workers? Don't cancel. There you go. Don't cancel. It's too short. Yeah, it's not second nature yet. I don't remember to always put these, but it's fine. So they can go there. They can figure that out. We have some fabric here. How about you allow a little more fabric in that thing so they can store it? I don't know why this one says 8%, but I don't see... oh, there was a tick. I saw a tick. But it may have been coming from the warehouse over here. Yeah, this looks fine. How's our trash? We have some trash accumulated. That's good. Our end station is definitely being used, just not right now. That's fine. We have people waiting here. That's expected. There's nothing right or wrong with that. Look at this. We're just missing some pub tavern. Other than that, they are relatively happy, which is great. We have people without flats already. That's a little scary. That's why we're building this thing. And cool. All right. What are the next things that we need to worry about? Let's talk about them. And I'm going to scroll to my guide because honestly I haven't looked at it for most of these 2 hours. So this will be fun. Okay. Plan and build the next things. What are big things that you have to build? Very important is a university, because what is your number of educated workers right now? 25, 9%. That's nothing, because that doesn't fill this, doesn't fill this. That's what you need. So with the next building, we're also going to introduce or invite some smarter people. But you definitely need to build a university. That's very important. You need that. You cannot get around that. Which one should you build? One of these 3. Which one is the best one? Go down here, go to Minister of Science, and then what is there to research? This is your research tree. This is color-coded. White is medical, blue is technical, and red is party headquarters. What do you want to go with? Engineering right away? Sure, go with technical university. With steel? Sure, technical. Do you want to build bigger buildings right away? Probably don't need that. Technical university and some of the HQ. Phone tapping, tree management. You can go through this. What are the big hitters in the beginning? This is geology. This is what unlocks to know where the resources are for some resources. Not all of them. You need for uranium, you need this one. For bauxite, you need this one. And for geology, you need this one. So, those are there. There's some renewable resources. There is some of the recycling processes. That's all sitting there, and that's cool. You probably want to worry about loyalty relatively soon and broadcasting. They are mixed between technical and HQ. This one's maybe the big one. The big distribution offices are locked at the HQ. So which one should you build? Honestly, I don't know a full answer for that yet. I would say start by building the cheapest one. This one, small headquarter of the party. This one's the smallest and cheapest and gets you there fastest. And once you have a university, you can at least... Can we actually fit this in here? Oh, wow. I didn't expect to fit that in here, but I'm happy that it does. We can just build this, plan that, and then you can at least increase your number of educated citizens, which is the main thing that you want to do with your university at this stage. Everything else is pretty secondary. So build a university. What is the thing that you want to build after that? Well, you need to figure out your own water treatment, because at some point your city is going to be too big. When is it too big? 2,500 people. Once you get past 2,500 people, you definitely need your own wastewater treatment facilities. I like to place them just outside the city, but still in walking range. So right here should be fine. If you want to place it a little closer and get into walking range of the bus stop, that will be right here, which is also not a bad thing. That's where we're going to place it. Once you have that one down, you want to get your sewage set up, which you need to get your sewage into the river somewhere. Looks like this. There we go. Sometimes it works right away, sometimes you have to play with your terraforming tools, and that's cool. I'm just throwing this out there because it's really very much up to you. Let's say you have your Mercy done, and you have this done. Part of me thinks that you need an incinerator. Now, the incinerator is the only way to get rid of waste fast, which you will start producing a lot of, especially if you have more workers, and the industry is running a lot hotter. So you need to worry about that and get an incinerator out there, which is over here. You need that. What else do you need? Let's look over here. Maintenance shop. You have to build this one again. I said after about 5 years of driving, your vehicles will need maintenance. You will be able to check how much maintenance or where they are with this. We've only been running for 2 years, 21% maintenance. This is a truck that's been there since the beginning, 16%. So the amount of driving matters, and after 1 year, we're at 20%. You want to send them to repairs at about 50, 60, 70% in that range. And you may want to go to your list of vehicles and show your wear and tear. And you can see all of these are set to repair at 50%. If you want to change that, just go in there and change it. It's fine. You need to make sure that you have materials here. You need to make sure that your water and sewage connections are happy, right? Like you need all those pipes, all those pumpings. I will tell you this because this is for new players. If you get water, let's set up this whole process. Let's say, oh, you actually don't need one there. But if you get water out, you want to put it in a tower because a tower stores pressure, which is important. However, to get it up in a tower, you need to put a water pumping station in front of it. Use the big one. The big one has a water pressure or water volume that it can move up 150 cubic meters, which is good. So plop that here and get your big pipes, go underground, and get them connected and in there. And then you can connect this either directly to your water system or, which is what I would recommend, get a water switch in front of this. Now you can use the pressure however you want. So get this one connected, this one goes in there, and this one at some point needs to go here. Something that's a little trickier is to set up your sewage. Get a sewage switch somewhere in a relatively low location. We're going to find that here. We're at 8 meters. Our sewage switch, right, or our sewage collector is here, 9 meters. So if we put you near, well, lower, which is right there, that's a good place. You can place a sewage switch there, and then hopefully you can get a lot of your sewage collected into this area. Let's put it right here. I'm trying to find a good place for the footpath connection. That should be fine. And now sewage is there. Get your first sewage pipe connected to this thing. Yes, this is just me running through this stuff. It is necessary, but it is necessary, period. Let's run this somewhere where we can actually connect it. The slope is very important here, so make sure that your slope kind of works. And then you can just connect this out to this pipe that you have running over here. You need to do the same thing from the other side, but here it's important that you remember that you have sewage coming in from this guy. What is that? The clothing factory. So get another sewage switch in here. Again, figure out where your height is. This is 1.9 meters. This is 3.4 meters. Cool. You want to get somewhere close to less than 1.9 meters. If you really cannot find a place that is low enough, there are a couple options. Option number 1, go to terrain tools, get to lower terrain, and find a spot, make it a little lower. Once you get too low, there's water, which is bad. Then go to your level terrain from center and find a spot that is not, well, that's not 0, but not nothing. But if you don't have a free bulldozer, which we apparently don't have right now, you're not going to be able to do that very quickly. So just increase the height here. And then the middle should be relatively low. So put your sewage switch in there. Okay, almost a meter. And we will still regret this in just a minute. I'll show you why. Get that one connected here, but we'll probably not need the big pipe for this one. So let's get like a medium pipe for that. Get a medium pipe for this one. We are going downhill here, so it shouldn't be a real problem. Let's get you a little happier. Requires proper slope. There you go. Sometimes it's a little finicky. And then we're just going to use the large pipe to connect this one up to here. We got lucky. That's going downhill. Great. So we can assign all of that and everyone is happy here. I'm hearing a lot of clicking in my ear, but I'm not sure where that really comes from. I should probably figure that out, but should be fine. So all of that is assigned. And there are a couple more things that can be built. Cool. All of those are assigned. So now we have sewage. Sewage is done. For water, we need a little more. We need a water well. If you use the big one, you need workers. If you need the small one, you just need power. If you need the surface water outflow, you just have higher pollution. You pick your poison. I like this one. It works. Just put it close enough to a power source and then run a road connection to it like that. You will still need a water pump to get water through here, but this is not the end of the world. Put that somewhere here. Get your water pipe. This one, sorry. The small water well can produce 70 cubic meters of water. The big one can do 215. The biggest pipe that you have can move 127. The medium one can do 56. So use the big pipe to connect this to move 70, but you could connect two different water pumps to the same big pump to run the water. So that's all the connections that you need there. That should be good. The water pumps also need power connections in case you were wondering. How are we doing? Happiness is what it is. Let's give our construction officers a chance here. And go from there. Okay, yeah, these are connected. You do want a water connection to your water from down here as well. And I would recommend build yourself another secondary tower somewhere in this area. It doesn't really matter where. Then get another water switch behind it, like this. Then we're just going to use large pipes to get this one connected. And I'm doing this so I can avoid funkiness later on, just with pipes being a little finicky. And then what you could do is you could connect into the existing pipe and pump it up from there. You could connect into the outlet of the other water tower that you have. It's completely up to you. However you want to build this is fine. And that's what you can run. And then we still have these two that are open. They need their own water. They don't... What water quality do they need? They need... gotta check this. Fabric needs a water quality of... Where are you? 85%. That is not... It's not super easy because we have industries here that are going to run. And we have sewage that's going to spew in here. So if you want to get low pollution levels, you have to go pretty far away from your industries. And you still need power, which is in this area. So I sometimes like to be lazy. And you can do this, or you can choose not to, and connect our normal city water to the production level here. Which you will need to do if you run... if you want to do food production or alcohol production anyways. But if you don't want to go there, you can just find a way to get another power connection and then build a small well somewhere. Or you may have, in this case we have some water connections here, which we should totally use. Put a water switch in, not a water switch, put a surface water quality. It should tell you 77%. That's not good enough. We need 80%. Or 85%. So it's completely up to you how you want to run this. The water well can get you up to 95% as long as there's nothing nearby that pollutes this. It's fine. It's just up to you because, as you can see, there's 92% by just having buildings there. So you're cutting it pretty close. So I would say for right now, just give yourself a little bit of a break and add some water from the city in here, and they will be fine. Cool. Now you have water set up. Great. What else do you need? Well, a farm would be nice, right? If you set up the farm, you can get your own crops, which you will need for this building once you build it. And this is getting really deep because there are a lot... This is the part of the sandbox game. Now you start it, now you set up, and are we making money yet? Yeah, we made 55,000. I think we're exporting the... Oh, I have the same problem that I had in my playthrough. I am unloading clothes here, but I'm also loading clothes here, and I'm unloading clothes here. We need to produce our own clothes, so we need to make sure that we don't export clothing from there. We're just exporting the clothing that we're producing, as long as we're at a certain percentage. This is our percentage that we keep. I just had that set up wrong. Sorry. And these guys are technically producing something, not very fast right now because we don't have a lot of people there. We don't have a lot of people there because we have 0% unemployment. It is highly encouraged to not have 0% unemployment. You want to get about 10% unemployment. So at this point, it's just us trying to get enough workers here. Let's give you a high priority so it actually gets done. To have more space for workers and get more workers invited. And that's what you're going to do probably for a little while. Just get more workers here and there to get all the things done. Actually, we can probably set this to 2. And then this building can actually get done relatively fast. 2, cool. Awesome. Alright, there's a couple chats, and then I think we will wrap it up. Should it not be higher than the unload percentage? So right now they fill close to 60% and take it away when it's above. Yes, you're right, and I didn't see it. You're throwing money away. Yes, I know. Small houses, well, it's Robin. Requires a proper slope, makes me shudder each time. The only thing I really do not like is lack of pumps for sewage. That's not true. Pumps are right here. They're just called sewage pumps. You can go up to 15 meters. They're fine. I don't like to use them, but if you have to, you can totally use them. You have to just sure. Yeah. How do you get the time to fly really quick? YouTube magic. Okay. That is what I had, and I think this is not true exports, but we're getting to it. Why? How are you getting workers? That's interesting, but that's okay. Yeah, this one is almost done. We can invite some smart citizens and some more workers, and this number hopefully goes in the right direction, and that should be nice. It looks like our booze place is done. Let's set this to 2 workers. Tell our imports to actually import stuff. So you, please unload booze as well over here. You're not set to anything specific. Please unload booze here. That should help our happiness, just for the time being. 30% should be fine for you. Shopping center, are you doing what you're supposed to do? Yes, you are doing what you're supposed to do. You look good. Electronics is not important. Everything else we are taking care of slowly. We've got 33 workers out of that. Cool. Let's get some smarter people, because we still have some money. And we're jumping straight on the next construction job. This has to get done. The pipes don't have to get done right away, so let's do this for now, because they're not important. There are a later problem. Right now, we don't need these to be done. Just a little bit of mountains of dirt sitting there, but this is all there is. Okay, yeah, this is it. How to get started in less than 2 hours. By that I mean 3. Which is why I haven't been able to make a shorter tutorial about this yet, because you see all the things that are kind of intertwined that you have to think about and figure out and do things about that you can't just ignore, but you can't just do right at the beginning. You kind of like, it's an evolution. It just happens over time, and it's not very linear, so it's really hard to figure out the right thing. I think this one we can turn down to 5 again. Because the teachers was the problem, not the workers. This one we want to have at a reasonable number. That's good. That looks fine. We don't have a lot of workers sitting there yet. Since we do have a lot of room here, we can actually spend some of our dollars to get some uneducated workers into the Republic, and that is okay. And you just start increasing this more and more, and eventually you will get a healthy number where you have more than enough citizens available. Right now, only 10% of this number is because they're uneducated. So once they're educated, you didn't spend any dollars on it, which is good. Cool. Things to watch out for now. Go to your statistics often. Look at this. Figure out how many deaths and how many escapes. The escapes are the big indicator. If you have a lot of escapes, you're already too late if you are on hard difficulty. So that can kill you. All the other numbers are interesting. Be aware that this is alcohol addiction. This one should be low. The higher it is, the lower your children numbers will be. So be aware of that. Then loyalty, yes, this will fall down to 30% or so. But by the time it does, you should have everything else in place that keeps people happy enough. This number, as long as after it falls, it climbs again, which is what it does right now, you are okay. Saturation, yes, keep this above 90. Health, try to keep it above or near 90, but if you have alcohol available, you will have it below 90, which will hurt you just a little bit. It's okay. It's okay to do. It's not the best though, so be aware of that. All right, how are we doing here? There's some trash going in there. There's some trash here. There's some trash here. Not a lot of hazardous. That's great. There's just a little bit of trash sitting there. All of these things are excellent. You're doing your thing. Are you producing anything yet? Go look at your economy and trade, domestic production and consumption last month, production of resources. We produced 1 ton of clothes. The more workers you have in the setup, the better. We just currently don't have a lot of workers sitting there, but you're not... You may be getting... You're offsetting some costs while you're expanding. You could have also built everything first, make a big old city for 5 years, and potentially take out your first loan very early. And that's what I did in Season 8. And then you paid 10 or so years, you pay that loan back eventually, and you have to make sure that you make the right decisions along the way. Otherwise, things are just funky. But I think we're here. Any other questions over there? Okay, yeah, my 2 hours is also about up. Looks like this guy's done. Set it too low. We don't want a lot of people sitting in here, and then may as well start with logistics research right away. How many people do you want on this? You want 2, I guess, but we don't have a lot of higher educated professors yet, so make sure that you get a couple extra in while you have some room, and then this building should be built. And then once that row is done, just build the next group of residential buildings right behind it. It shouldn't... It's up to you how pretty you want that, but you can do it. I believe in you. So right now, all I'm doing is I'm checking these. How many people have problems? This one, there's no kindergarten available. That's not good. We do want people to work, so get your parents some kindergarten access and we should be okay. And you can also see that number up here. Due to small child, 19. That is a big number for the small amount of citizens that we have right now. So it's important that we take care of those things. This all looks fine. We only have 3 teachers, so yeah, there's not a lot going on there. We have some workers sitting here, that's good. You can now fine-tune everything. You don't need 30 workers here, you probably just need 10. In the winter, you need this full... Well, in the winter you need more, in the summer you barely need anyone. So you could optimize that as much as you want it, but we are in a state where things are actually moving. This month we also produced... Well, almost 2 tons now. That's cool. Last month it was this much. So it's moving, it's working. It's really what you should care about, and now you can concentrate on all the different constructions that you wanna get done with. These numbers are important. Look at these. Once this one gets close to 100%, you'll probably overload it. The same number is available here. 68%, okay. There's a estimate maximum consumption and total wattage of all connected buildings. You really could just care about the bottom number, because this is shared between all connections. So as you can see, well, actually these are evenly shared, which is weird. But the bottom number is what this building needs to provide, and the top number is what is available. But here's the important thing, and there was a user on Discord, sorry, something Berlin, Frankie Berlin, who told me this. Look at this number. Like, this is the max consumption, 1.44 megawatts, but in reality it's only consuming 0.01 megawatts right now. At night this may be a little more, and that's totally fine, but this is the number you should really care about. Once this number is near the max of 2.35, not 2.5, 2.35, because that's your wire, then you have a problem. Right now, it's fine. Something similar is this. This is a heat tank. When it gets cold, this gets lower. And you want to make sure that it doesn't get too low. Now I think I've done it. We don't have rail yet, but at this point it's pretty easy to add rail here. It's also pretty easy to start thinking about... Oh, radio station. You do need a radio station, but to get a radio station going, you need the technical university, which is this one, because the research is parked in here. And then you do want to get a radio station to get your loyalty up. Without that, you cannot get your loyalty up without giving cars, and cars won't help you that much. Crime and justice, yes, that has to happen at some point. About 2,500 citizens is when you want to start on that. And throughout the whole time, the more people you have, the more construction goes on at the same time, the more this will become a bottleneck. Right now it doesn't look bad, but at some point you will have too much trash, you will have too much demand in more resources. Like these guys currently just park here, they're not doing anything. And once they are in bigger demand, custom traffic will bog down a little bit. And that's the time when you have to worry about getting more trains, or trains at all, because that will happen. But for right now, you can start planning your farms, which shouldn't be terribly complicated. It shouldn't be terribly easy. Let's put this one in here. No, let's just plan the farm out. Get that road in here. They can do whatever they need to do there. And yeah, farms. How do you do farms? Simple setup. 111 was the old way of doing things. But today, because we have fertilizer, we can increase our production, or we can almost double the yield on the field, and you need to be aware of that. For that, there are a couple things that you have to be aware of. One, you need a waste connection. At some point, the garbage containers didn't work for this, but maybe they work now. But you need a dump container to drop off your fertilizer. Honestly, I will probably have to move this. You want a dump container to drop off your fertilizer because you will have a lot of it. Something like this. And then you need a liquid fertilizer as well if you want to put that there. And then you can connect all of these things together. Like so. Okay, something like this. And then you will have to get some mechanisms. The mechanisms that you get are tractors, harvesters, and covered holds. And they're important. It's about a 1 harvester to 1 tractor to at least 2 trucks to open 2 covered holes. Otherwise, you can't get all your stuff in. And then, yeah, if you want to place some fields, just place the big ones. Makes your life a little easier. 1 harvester can handle about 3 fields a year. So you just place them however you want. Keep the driving distances low. That's important, but it's not the end of the world. And you can also do some terraforming around the lakes if you wanted to. So right now, in this case, I think we can probably build something like, well, something like this. Keep going and figure out where you want to go with that. We built the small farm. This one can handle 12 spots, which means if you do 3 harvesters and 3 tractors, you need 6 trucks, right? So that is 9 fields. We just placed 6. There's space for 3 more somewhere, I'm sure, like over here. And you can place those, and life is pretty good. There you go. Just place them however you want, and then you can build the next farm somewhere else. And if you did this, where you just build up your path a little bit, and now your train track couldn't go through there, there's always terraforming. Just go through like this, lift them up a little bit, get your rail, run it through there, make it double track, makes your life a little easier. And move on from there. Like, this is just stuff that you're probably not going to get to for a few years, if that you have to worry about. But the farm is definitely part of the next part. Look at that, 76% happiness, because people have booze, so they're doing what they're supposed to do. And the next building is done. Let's get some more citizens that we can continue working. And now you just expand this city. Make sure that you don't overload your utilities. Make sure that you don't. Well, just make sure that stuff is fine. It's really all that is. But this is now a continuous thing now. And I don't think there's anything right or wrong about what you can do. If you need some guidance, there are a lot of people out there that will help you. Just make sure that whatever you get is what you want. All right. Whew. Deathcast, can you get secret police up the secret police? Sorry, can you get loyalty up with secret police? No, loyalty and secret police have nothing to do in terms of increase. The secret police only enables you to use these settings, the government loyalty. Otherwise, you don't know what the loyalty is, and that's all the secret police does. It doesn't do anything else. And once you set these settings, then you will have higher loyalty teachers, which will give a loyalty bonus to their students. That in turn helps, but the secret police itself is probably not going to be enough to push you above where you want to go. Side note, you can set this to individual numbers. Now, back in the day, it was just like the 5% increases, but you can actually drag on this thing now. Don't think you can type on it, which is a little unfortunate. But yeah, that's a thing now. What else do we have? Any other questions? Enoch, the beauty fields may go up in town. Bus driving for fields when it... Yes. So it's a bonus for high loyalty and strict release. Loyalty affects your production. Okay, I think you guys figured it out, and I think we all say the same thing. So that should be okay. Do we need anything else? No, I think at this point you have a working republic. We haven't taken out a loan yet, which means you have a lot of, wiggle room, I guess is the word. And, oh, that's the other thing I should probably briefly say. Loans are over here, you can take them up there, and this maximum amount of money you can borrow is dependent on the number of citizens. Let's see if I'm putting my foot in my mouth here. Click this number, that number goes up a little bit, okay? So the more people you have, the more money you can take out. It is not related to anything else in your republic. Just in case you're curious, and that is true for US dollars and ruble the same way. Something else you should probably do, because of where we are, start using your other custom houses. You have a custom house here. Where are you? There you are. And you should probably try to get a road connection to this thing as soon as possible. And why not do it through here? Makes life really easy, because then you can use it. Once you have this road connection, you can get a bunch of vehicles that are really, really nice. For example, these covered trucks are bigger than what you have and faster. They're great. You can get the bigger fuel tankers. Cool. This is a trolley bus. Don't get that one. You can't ride it yet. They have the long haul trucks. These have the bigger storage capacities, which is great. Another thing you probably need to worry about is move these temporary storages to something more permanent. You have a lot of space here. You could use that. For that, I would say use the just use the large storage sites. This will help you because these are powered and they will load and unload faster, and they have rail connections if you want that. And they have a bigger capacity. All of those things are very, very, very good. It's helpful if they actually have the power connection, which is nice. Other things that you can probably do, get your food in here, because this will be a lot of crops. But once you want to start crops, once you want to start food, as well as everything else, you probably will require rail to bring in your crops, because there's a lot of crops that you will require. Same thing with alcohol. Just it requires a lot of booze to make this work. You could add another grain silo on this side if you wanted to, just for that purpose, and then you have the food and alcohol standing on this side. But this is all completely up to you. This is just some suggestions, and I know I'm just sprinting through them because we're way past what I wanted to get to here. But yeah, this is fine. Keep your construction offices busy. They're not really doing anything right now besides a road, so you could start building more buildings. In this case, I think it's just going to be some more large residential buildings like so. And I offset them a little bit because it's cute. There's no real other reason for that. Let's see. Put this one here, put this one there. And again, the main thing here that you need to take care of is that you are in range of your utilities. Sol de la Vineyard. Mr. Rosso, Mrs. Rosso. Thank you, Rosso. I can't say the first part, but thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it. What's the purpose of this factory connection between the grain silo and the warehouse? So, I guess at this point it doesn't matter anymore because there's a direct connection between the factory and the warehouse already. But at some point I would have said you can park a truck here that pumps the extra grain into the warehouse instead of having it parked here, because this has a bigger storage capacity and that can help you a little bit. And I guess that could help with the food and alcohol that you could put on this side. That's all. But yeah, that's really all. How's this going? That's fine. That's fine. How's our educated people? 15%. I like to keep it near 20%, and you should also do this. Go to this number, look at all, and see what your natural progression is. Because you want to make sure that the numbers above are not right, but the graph below will tell you something. You want the graph to be... You don't want the graph to go down. It can go up, but don't make it go down. Look at that, 79% happiness. We are doing just fine with everything that we have going on here. Yeah, they just need electronics. And electronics are more desired by higher educated people, so if you don't have a lot of those, you should be okay. And that's fine. Yeah. Let's build more footpaths, and then we build more garbage receptacles, and all those things will be very Very important for us. And then I guess we probably have to build another monument too, but that's fine. Yes, that's it. That's all. I hope I helped someone. I've seen the request for making one of these again many, many times. Now it's finally done. I hope it's what everyone wanted. I actually feel really good about this. I may still make shorter tutorials, but it will really just be the same thing, about the same time length, unless I make some time skips in there, which, what's the point of that? It's a full tutorial that's supposed to tell you how to play this game, or give you an idea of what you can do. So, I think we're good. Hey, Lee! Rude. Promoted you earlier. Yeah, no. We can chat a little bit while we drive around on this bus while it's doing something, because I'm pretty sure in about 5 minutes I have to go anyways. Let's do this one. Shall we turn night on? Yes, we should turn night on. Let's do this. Always state, moving sun. Yes, make it a little prettier, and then we're good. Let's reload this and see if I broke something. But yeah, that's obviously all I have. So, what else do you guys want to talk about? Anything? Anything super interesting and important? I'm here. I'm listening. Hey, come back here. You, buddy. Click that button. Save again. Sure. Get citizens, that's fine. They survived, so we don't need them anymore. And then we get the dynamic. And... cool. Lee just got on the stream. Thought I was the only one who did long streams. This may actually be my longest stream that I've done. And I was told this morning that I have 2 hours for myself. And I was just like, okay, let's do it. Love the current series, but I saw a thing last episode that you might already have figured out, but the rail wasn't. Yeah, it's gonna take me about 2 episodes to figure it out, and I will be very happy when I did. I wish the incinerator had more connections. I'm sure there are mods out there that will help with that. Yeah. Hey, there's the bus. Did you actually drop anyone off? You have 7 people there. Oh, you're not dropping everyone off at the station? That's surprising. Why not? You are picking up just workers. Good. Oh, this is full. Cool. We have enough workers to actually make this thing run now. That's wonderful. That's super cool. Love it. Yeah, you do probably want to spend time micromanaging your workers in these places, because if you have a lot of workers that always end up on the bus, then you need to take off a bus, because once those people are on the bus, they count as I had work today. But that's not a good thing if they didn't actually go to work, because they didn't give you any net gains, and you do want the gains. You need the gains. You can't go without the gains. So just, yeah. Maybe check that every once in a while, and yeah, just let it run for now. I think you're pretty... I wouldn't say you're safe yet. We're still importing construction materials, but if we look at our consumption for last month of citizens, it's 2,000, and overall you produced 14,000 in wealth. So yeah, we are good. We're fine. We can expand and start the next construction. And construction is always the stuff that's going to cost you to get started, but once you started, you're in a pretty good place. Love it. How many? Yep. There are not a lot of workers waiting here, so we just need to continue getting more workers in. Happiness is at 80% right now, and I would highly recommend you close the bar. Once the bar is closed, your happiness will drop, but your health will go up, and once your health is in the 90%, your kids' rates is going to skyrocket, and that is what you actually want. So definitely say do that. Get all these, some connections, and then yeah, they can just start building those things. It'll be fine. Cool. Looks like they're assigned. They're not assigned. Whatever. They can figure it out. Yep. That's what I had. It's almost winter again, so this is good. Hope I helped. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Thank you for the super chats for you two. Appreciate that. And yeah, expanding after this is completely up to you, so do with it what you will, because that's the fun part. These guys are all doing their thing. Yeah, you should put an incinerator over here. Just saying. burn your stuff and get rid of it. That will make your life a lot easier. Right now, there's barely any trash sitting here. And what do we do with these guys? That's just water. So yeah, there's not even trash pickup on, on this side of the river. But that is fine. I think you are in range of that. Barely. Now you're in range of that. So you can pick up from here, which is not ideal. I actually want this to be just a 1 kilometer, and we're gonna set this to just a separate office, technical service office, and that will be fine. You're digging the layout? I am happy to hear that. It's not what I usually do, but there you go. No, I love it. This worked pretty well. Obviously, the thumbnail earlier was from Season 8, because we don't have a train today. A train... Yeah, a train is just another thing. Just simple tip. Go here, go to Disassembled, and then you can pick up this train builder as your first track builder. And once that one creates a connection with the customs house, you can get the bigger track layers, which is what you want, which just makes your life a lot easier, but that's how you have to start. Awesome. Cool. Screenshot. Yep. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. It's awesome. I hope this helps a lot of people. Please share. Please share this stuff. That helps the YouTube algorithm a lot. If you could tell other people about it and send them the link, and we can continue everything from there. Yep. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.